Streamed live on Twitch at Lord Brandon 10.
All right, guys, welcome back. We are here with episode 1 of Lord's Cast, and today we're going to be discussing everything Destiny Rising and the state of the game. All right, Tiva, start us off with PvP. How we feeling?
Okay. PvP.
How we feeling?
Where do I begin? Well, for example, Shifting Gates, I think we all can say that it's half bots, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that experience doesn't hit very well for somebody who is a main PvPer in every game they play.
Mm-hmm.
On top of that, let's go into the queue times. The queue times are hitting, yesterday I sat on stream for over an hour trying to queue for one match. It was just, it was unstreamable. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't, I literally had to, switch games and play something else. And, that, to me, it's a little rough. I think Shifting Gates needs to be on the weekends, and the rewards should probably be adjusted. And they should put Iron Bar. Most Destiny players love playing Crucible. When you see it on the weekends, we get Iron Bar queues every, it takes a minute, maybe two. Maybe they put Iron Bar for the week and swap it with Shifting, and maybe add some rewards into the Iron Bar other than the casual rewards that we're getting, being the, the overclocked energy thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's rough. And then I don't
interrupt you for a second. So you said you want them to move Shifting Gates to the weekend, but I don't think that would work very well unless they do. They would have to do some kind of major overhaul to the whole rewards of it, because in my opinion, the main reason you play Shifting Gates is to get the translation credits to buy the mythic materials out of the shop. So I personally don't have a problem with it being bots. Yeah, the queue times can be a little rough. The most I've experienced is 10 minutes to get a game, but I think it all depends on the time of the day you queue in as well.
So I'll say I agree with you, Tiva. It's not possible to move it to the weekend because it's how they built the story.
You can't.
Yeah, that's why I had brought up adjusting adjusting their reward system. It's kind of what I was getting at.
Oh.
Adjusting the reward system. I think most PvPers don't generally like playing bots. Myself, my community said the same thing. Shifting Gates kind of lose substance. The ranking the leaderboards is kind of when you have bots and you're facing bots, it pulls away from your leaderboard. Because then at the same time you lose credibility, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's more my point. Because you're losing credibility. When you're reaching, let's just say you're the number one on Shifting Gates, people are just gonna be like, oh, well, you're fighting bots.
Mm-hmm.
And I do agree, the only reason to play it is for the rewards. But at the same time, if it was structured a little bit better, I don't really think that would be, because it's just there hasn't been any updates to it at all, right? We haven't had any updates to Shifting or Iron Bar. I do agree, it is the way it is structured, it would be so hard. But at the same time, what we're currently having obviously isn't really good. I don't even want to get into the cheaters. I don't even want to bring light to that. There's the invisible Ikoras running around one-shotting people. I have clips of this. It's not healthy, especially for PvPers. Most PvPers already have left.
Mm-hmm.
Because the first 2 weeks I was having queues back to back. I could play it all day. Now I'm waiting for over an hour, which that's kind of a problem, because it's hard for a PvPer to want to stream the game like that. For me personally,
I think so. Just from hearing you speak, it seems to me that you're big into PvP, and with that, I would say you also have to look back and think about this game as a whole. This game isn't made for your Call of Duty PvP, go toe to toe all day long, grinding PvP people. You gotta remember, this is a mobile game that's meant for people to get on and play for like an hour or two at most a day. It's not really set up to be like, sure, it has PvP aspects, but it's not that serious. So I think you just got to remember, like, for you, yeah, it may not seem great, but it's not like, again, it sounds like you're a big PvP player, and just this isn't that type of game. And you just have to remember that you know, this is a mobile game. A lot of people coming from Destiny 2 and stuff like that coming into this game are all upset because they get on, they spend their pinnacle energy in an hour, and then they don't know what to do with the rest of the 7 hours they want to play the game. And again, it's the same thing of, you just got to dial it back and remember, like, this game is not meant for that. It's not meant for grinding. It's not meant for hardcore PvP. Sure, there's leaderboards in it, and it kind of like makes it think like, well, shit, we got to get on them leaderboards, whatever. But in the end, it's a casual game that's meant just to be played a little bit of time on a daily basis, is the way I see it.
I agree. Tiva, anything else you want to add on to it? Real or Tiva, anything else you want to add on before we close it out?
No, I can agree to disagree, but like I understand the points of it being casual, but there's tons of mobile games that, you know, either will time gate said content so the queues are actually healthy. But yeah, I understand it's not you know, PvP isn't like a main focus, and it is meant to be more, you know, kind of just casual, I guess is the term that we're using. But at the same time, it's like, there's tons of mobile games that have the same format that queues, like, you know, PvP is just popping, you know. But I understand the sentiment, you know.
Right, but I'm sure like those other games probably, I mean, are those other games that are more built around PvP and stuff, are the rewards better? Because again, it goes back to like what I said before, is it's like, let's be honest. I mean, the main reason people play Shifting Gates is you go in there and you play enough games to get translation credits to buy all the mythic material, buy the fruits, buy the sheaths, buy that stuff every week. And then it's like, pretty much the majority of people are done with it for the week, you know. It's 160 pinnacle energy you spend a week and max out the store. And then it's just like, you go in there, you play, and the majority of people probably don't even care if they win or lose, because you get the 25 translation credits whether you win or lose. You just got to spend the pinnacle energy and you get it.
But they also
it's like
exotics behind it.
Right. There's 3 exotics that are in there,
and you can only farm those exotics from Shifting Gates.
Correct.
What exotics did they like behind Shifting Gates?
Crimson,
Sweet
Wolf
Business,
Shotgun, Sweet Business.
Yeah, all those can be earned though from the legendary campaign.
You could craft them.
It's true.
Yeah, like you can craft them, but like, you know, it'd be like trying to farm like your Polaris from strikes, right? You know,
Polaris
like,
you can get from strikes and I believe the raid, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's strikes.
Well,
but,
and don't forget about bounties.
Yeah, bounties.
Yeah, it's kind of hard for you to farm that, you know, exotic. Like, because I'm working on finishing off my wolf, I can't get one to drop if I can't get a queue. Then I have to spend.
I mean, I can see what that's frustrating too. But...
Yeah, then I have to earn my, you know.
I mean, honestly, what's the longest you've waited for a game of Shifting Gates?
Literally an hour
to
start.
An hour and 12 minutes.
I watched it yesterday.
What time of the day was that? I'm gonna guess like 3-4 in the morning, a.m. Eastern, somewhere around there. In the morning?
Oh no, I'm an I start stream at like 10 a.m. It was probably around 1 a.m. or 1 p.m. in the afternoon. Central Time.
I find that usually any activity, no matter what it is, blitzes. I mean, you queue blitzes at like 3 in the morning, and like you're getting 2 people in your team, and it's backfilled with bots. It's just like that time of the night that I've noticed is just a bad time for anything in this game. And I think it's just the game's kind of fallen off already. You know, it's because, and the problem is the most people that have been playing since launch are in the end game, right? So what are they doing with their pinnacle energy? Well, they're not doing blitzes and they're not doing strikes and they're doing stuff. They're farming legendary campaigns to finish out exotic weapons and artifact mods and singularity chaos to perfect their mods, right? That's two activities that probably the majority of in-game people are using their pinnacle on. So it's a bad thing for the game, man, because like when you want to do those other things, there's just nobody there to do it.
Yeah. That's why I had brought up like adjusting like rewards for PvP. That's kind of why I was like, because it does feel bad, like Wolf being one of the big free-to-play characters. Like, he is your free-to-play character, right? You get a free T6, right. You get his GL first kata, so it's like it would be hard for a free-to-play player to farm out all of those resources, especially locking like some items behind it, Like for me personally, like, I'm over 3K the rating, and everyone says that the rating matters because like once you hit like a certain point, apparently it tries to stop bots being in your game, which I don't really notice that at all. It's just what people have said in my community. But that's why I was saying, hopefully like if they adjusted drops, maybe that's why I was maybe saying swap it with the Iron Bar, because it seems like, I don't know if you played Iron Bar on the weekends, those queues are popping. Like those queues are constantly going. It just feels like people kind of neglect shifting gates because, it is filled with bots. But I could be wrong. It is all a personal opinion of mine.
Well, I think also like, Iron Bar, I mean, the weekend thing could have something to play with in the queue times, but also, a lot of people may just queue in the Iron Bar because you play 5 games and you get those you get those mythic parts and stuff like that, basically for just playing 5 games. So
see, like you,
that I think helps get you in there too.
I've never had any of those experiences in shifting gates. I love shifting gates.
Yeah, me too. That's all my content is, bro. Like if you've ever watched me, or that's all I do. That's literally all I do is PvP in this game.
So like, I don't think they should change anything with shifting gates. I haven't encountered any bots or any issues or any like cheaters going around when I play shifting gates, because I play on a simulator, of course, because you're PC going against mobile players and sometimes other PC players. So it would make sense if the people seem like bots, because they could also be young people playing Destiny Rising for the first time on a mobile game.
There were 100% bots, confirmed.
Well, they're 100% bots, man. You can easily tell a bot.
Oh, yeah.
Because the bots are always, granted there could be real people playing them too, but the bots are always Kaber, Wolf, and Ikora. Those are the 3 characters that the bots use, and it's usually, if there's full teams of bots, it's one of each, and you see them running around together.
You can also see like triple
bots, and they run in.
Yeah, he's right.
They run in like a straight line, like right to you. They just straight line. They don't strafe around. They don't do nothing. They just
one time they all insta auto flip towards you. I got clips and stuff. If you want to, I can send it to you privately. But like, you'll shoot one bullet, and they'll all 3 flip around at the same time and literally just look at you. It's it's crazy, bro. It really is. And like, I don't find bots in PvP healthy. It's almost disrespectful, like it's kind of disrespectful to me anyways. Like,
well, I mean, again, they gotta be there because people are going in there to farm stuff, materials, whatever. So they gotta fill it with bots, or else you'd never be able to go and farm your stuff,
Why do they give us an elo and rank if they put bots into your thing so it doesn't matter? It's just weird. It's weird. Like, they don't do that to Calamity.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean? Like, they don't do that to Calamity.
So what would your opinion be then if shifting gates was still there, but there was just no leaderboard associated?
Hold on. I want to touch on the Calamity Ops thing. If they did that to Calamity Ops, this game would die. You put bots into Calamity Ops, especially on like a Masters run, and then if you see a bot on your team and you back out, you're gonna get penalized for that.
Yeah.
For them putting a bot on your game. I hope they wouldn't do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. But like, they don't touch PvE like that. You know what I mean? Because Destiny players, a lot of them are. But like, and like, I'm not just saying this like out of like, Destiny Rising is my first Destiny game. I have 1,600 flawlesses between D1 and D2, so I'm pretty well versed in the subspace of like Destiny PvP. But I do think the leaderboard would make it more feel less daunting for a new player, because like some of them are like 5-6K rating, which is just ridiculous to even like achieve. But but then people like you see people just be like, oh, it doesn't really matter, they're bots, so it's just, I don't know, it's hard for me to want to stream something that it just, you feel alienated, you feel like they don't really, because they haven't given us any PvP update. And then they took out, like, in my opinion, the hardest PvE content being the Eclipse. They took that out, which that's a whole different subject,
I mean, well, to go on that, touch on another thing you said too, is like, I mean, let's be honest, in this game as a whole isn't a great game to stream, period.
Facts.
In my opinion.
No, you're
I mean,
wrong.
just like you said, I mean, the PvP shifting gates, it's like you watch someone play a couple games, like you said, and you get a lot of bots in the game, so it's kind of like, whatever. It's not really true PvP because you're playing against. There's a couple teams in there, the rest are bots, whatever. And then it's like, well, what else do you stream in this game? Like, people don't want to watch you run blitzes for 3 hours and while you're farming blitzes or farming strikes. Yeah. So it's like, what do you want to see people do? Unless you're like really, I would say like high end, where you're doing like the top Calamity Ops runs, people may want to watch that. But then, in fact, then it's just like, just make a YouTube video of it, So I think like this game in general is just bad for streaming, which sucks. But I see it more as, I know when in my streams, a lot of the people that come in my stream aren't really there to really watch me play. There's more people coming in and asking questions. How do I do this? What should I do? What should I do as a new player? Blah, 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 and stuff like that. Which is kind of just what the game is, it's...
Yeah, I get, new players coming in asking me questions all the time. Like, all the time. That is definitely, I would say, a good 1/3 of the traffic, for sure. Is newer players asking, how do I spend this currency? How do I build this? What's good?
Well, with that, I want to use that to lean into a question I had for Real. Real, I have, you've come over to Destiny Rising, you've played it, and you went back to D2. How do I get D2 players to come to this game and stay on this game forever?
Honestly, I think if you want a D2, the aspect, I mean, don't get me wrong, they've added everything that the D2 community has ever wanted. That includes fishing, that includes sparrow racing, that includes the shifting gates, PvP for Gambit, basically, which shifting gates, I say, is much better than Gambit. If you wanted to get more Destiny 2 players over to Destiny Rising, I think it's the aspect and quality of the game. Sure, the game is a mobile and it's great, but a lot of people do not like the fact that you're paying to like level up your character, you're paying to get ahead further than other people. I mean, especially when I'm playing with other D2 players, they're like, it's a gacha game, I don't want to play gacha games. And I was like, why not? And they're like, because you gotta pay, you gotta pay all this money just to get ahead. And I'm like, no, you can also grind in the game, but it's the feeling that you have to do that. It's the feeling that you have to pay money to buy your characters, or even get a chance at getting the limited edition characters, to even get a chance at getting ahead on the game. And it's as well as you're having to use an emulator to play on Destiny Rising. A lot of them want a PC port, for example, for it to be available on maybe on Steam or maybe on Epic or any kind of other platform, instead of having using an emulator to play the game itself. I think that'd be very important.
So I have a question to that too for you. You come from Trials. You do a lot of Trials helps. One of the biggest things, I mean, you could probably agree on this, is the cheaters. We have a lot of cheaters in the Trials space. And so with this being on the emulator, we don't see as much of that on the emulator. So you would be willing to allow a PC port and risk having not only Trials, but raids compromised due to cheats, just to help those people, or no?
I think if there was going to be a PC port involved, it'd be very important to have anti-cheat software, maybe. Like maybe at least announce that to allow some people to feel comfortable and a little safety. But it also depends on the population. The only reason why there's so many cheaters in Destiny 2 right now is because they have not updated their cheating software. I mean, I'm watching Battlefield 6 and seeing what they're doing to get cheaters out of their game. I mean, holy cow, they're even doing $5,000 fines if you're caught cheating and you try to get in the game again. And if you're caught cheating once again on a different account, because they track you, they track where what accounts you've created, then you receive a $5,000 fine. And it's just like having that kind of safety and having that kind of like, oh wow, they're actually really working on the game. I mean, I feel like Bungie needs to step up, especially in Destiny 2, because how the hell can a game like Battlefield 6 be performing so much better in the anti-cheat software than Destiny 2? I mean, that just shows you that, okay, that's out there. But anti-cheat software, I mean, they're backed up by Sony. That they should make that happen in all the games. And I feel like if there was something like that in Destiny 2 or Destiny Rising, if there was a PC port, then at least that would make the player base feel safe, and it would also show, hey, Destiny Rising is putting a lot of effort into anti-cheats. Hey, when you load up in the game, you're not going to face a cheater anymore. I mean, then again, the cheaters could be from because the population is so low in Destiny 2, Draws of Osiris. I mean, every weekend you're at least getting 5,000 to 8,000 players, which is, in my opinion, crazy. I hate it. I mean, you're playing basically the same guys every single time. But it's not only that. It's not only them detecting anti-cheat softwares. Battlefield's also detecting Cronus users. They're also detecting Zim users. And the technology is out there. Companies just need to install that in the games to actually make it count. Because without it, it's just like... No worries at all.
I'm glad you touched that. Like you said that.
I just want to comment. Go ahead, Tiva.
Oh no! I'm just glad that he brought it up. Like I completely agree.
Oh, I was just gonna say something along when you said EA is fining people $5,000, but I mean, it's great that they try to do that, but I'm thinking over here, like, they can't enforce that. If I go and cheat in Battlefield 6 and they fine me $5,000 for cheating, who's going to enforce me to pay that? It's not against the law.
No. It's against the TOS. So basically how it is, in the TOS, it states that if you're caught cheating, you will be banned, which they ban you, but then if you create an alternate account and then do it again, then that's when they send the $5,000 fee. They basically send it through like, it's like, for example, going against the law. You get pulled over, the officer lets you go, okay. A day later, same officer pulls you over. He doesn't let you go. He writes you a ticket. He's like, all right, you got to pay this now because I gave you a warning.
My whole thing is like, how's EA going to enforce making somebody pay $5,000? Like, they can't, because it's not against the law. Sure, it may be in their terms of service, but
are they taking you to court?
Send a creditor after me? They're not going to take you to court over it. I think it's more there as a scare tactic. I mean, I don't know. Just hearing it off the top, though, it just sounds like that would be like me going and playing in a men's base softball league, right? And I get warned for putting spit on the ball, okay? And then the next time I do it, they go, well, we warned you, and this time now we're gonna fine you $5,000. I'm gonna be like, okay, don't wait around for that to come, kind of thing, you know?
Well, how do they make
Can
you
they
pay
really
it,
enforce?
Real, how do they make you pay that? Because I'm curious.
How do they? I can imagine. Actually, I'm going to look that up right now. That's something I was wanting to look up.
Yeah, I was literally like, yeah. But I mean, like, it's
But yeah,
like,
I mean, that's just getting off topic. But as soon as you said that, I was just thinking like, okay, so how are they going to actually enforce that, though? You can send me a summons to pay you $5,000 all you want. I'm not going to go to jail for not paying you $5,000 for cheating in your video game.
You
But
don't have to. I'm pretty sure when you do a TOS, because every single game, there's always a TOS or terms and conditions that you have to read and you have to agree with. Now, I understand a lot of people don't read that, but I guaranteed in that TOS, it specifically states that, hey, if you're caught cheating, you will be banned. If you're caught cheating again, you will be fined a $5,000 fee.
Yeah, it's just when you think about fines, though, like anyone could fine you for anything. Any business could fine you, but it comes down to the matter of, well, you fined me. It's not what I did isn't against our general law in America, so I'm not going to pay you crap.
Yeah, actually,
Unless you want to what are you going to do? Then take me to court over it, and then let the court settle it. But who's going to do that?
So, doing the little research that I have seen, it is in some states it's classified as a felony breaking the terms of service in the video game. By the way, so like Michigan, it's $5,000. Oklahoma is $10,000. So in New York, it's classified as a Class B misdemeanor. So like it's up to 90 days in jail and a $500 fine in some states.
Yeah, I didn't know this.
So I'm looking at it all right now. So it is actually technically against the law to do that, and it would be like a you wouldn't have to do like it would be like a summons. So it'd be like you getting you being served papers, and it would be actually considered into the law. So like it would be like you avoided taxes or something on that line, because like that's they bring you right to court. You do your argument over it. So yeah, it is classified as a felony in some states. Just But I think what I think his real thing was like it like beautiful. I could not have said any of that better. Like honestly.
No, I agree. I think that's going to be needed if you do a PC port.
I think in all honesty, when it comes down to it, having because cheating has become such a big problem now that our technology is really improving, and there's a lot of there's a lot of upgrades and a lot of how do I explain it? Like within the 10 years of how we went from having like a really, really small computer or like one of those big giant computers, and people didn't really know coding as much, but now that technology has continuously like gone up and up and up, people are finding out ways to code, people are finding out ways to code cheats, and I just feel like
ChatGPT to help write the cheats or write the codes, you know what I mean? So like they can even be kind of stupid and do this.
Right, so now you have AI on the field to especially help you get things done faster. But I just feel like having, it doesn't even matter about the $5,000 fee. What matters is the fact that the EA devs for Battlefield 6 are specifically caring about their player base because they don't want this game to fail. And I think this shows to you of how important a game's success can be, because I just read I was scrolling on Facebook, and EA sold over 6.5 million copies, which is record high for them for Battlefield 6.
That's a lot.
6.5 million copies, and over 65% of them were Steam users, which is crazy. But I feel like when playing Battlefield 6, people feel like it's fun. It's great. Whenever they see cheaters get banned, they feel rejoiceful. And
oh my God, I love it.
And they see the fact that, okay, these cheaters are getting banned. They're going away. They're there's nothing bringing them back, and it makes the player base feel safe. Hence, more people are joining in on Battlefield 6 because the news is spreading and everyone knows that cheaters is becoming a problem in the gaming universe, because everyone is downloading this software or whatever you call it and playing games like Call of Duty Black Ops 7, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Destiny. I don't know if there's any cheaters in Halo. It probably is, but
But look at how bad the cheaters were in the new Call of Duty beta. Do you see how bad those cheaters were? They were running everywhere. And in Battlefield 6, they made kind of like a showcase on cheaters. Like there's a couple streamers who got completely caught for zimming, and then they're like, "Oh, how do you prove it?" And they're like, "Our anti-cheat literally insta banned them." And it's just like that is the most dopamine I've ever felt watching somebody be banned for cheating. It's just like, get out of here. We don't need you.
Right. Yeah, it's just like, it's just the safety around it. I feel like if you have safety around a video game, then your player base is going to go up, and there's not going to be any problems. There's not going to be any issues. It will just feel like, okay, I can play this game. I can play against people, kind of the similar level, kind of up above. You don't have to worry or feel the fact, oh my God, this is becoming such a bad problem, because that's what also why a lot of Destiny 2 PvP players left, was the cheater problem. I mean, I remember experiencing my cheater problem back during Season of the Witch, where every time when you almost like 90% of the time when you load into the Destiny 2 Trials of Osiris, there's at least someone flying around the map, or someone having unlimited ammo and shooting you with this grenade launcher that just doesn't even reload.
DDoSing you.
Yeah.
Or literally DDoSing you. That's what I experienced a lot too, is just being DDoSed, and like your like connection, like I have fiber and I've had fiber since it came out, and like I'm literally being DDoSed. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and I've had that happen.
But like, oh man, like when you're going in and you're like, you're on your 7th win, you're like, oh, this is a run, boys. And then boom, one of you guys gets DDoS, and you're like, oh shit. Then you're being DDoS, and you're like, wait, whoa. Then one of your players is like, yeah, I'm at like 150, 160 ping, and it's spiking up, and you're like, it's unplayable, and it sucks.
And that's the worst part. I've had the experience where we're winning a trials match. We actually, we were down 0-3, and we came back. We came back 4-3, and the guy messaged me and said, "Have fun," and then he DDoSed me.
Oh my God, bro!
I was like, oh, and he even came to my Twitch chat and said, "Have fun." And I was like, oh, I was not happy.
Yeah,
I was really not happy about that. But it's that the fact of those becoming problems. I think if you want a game to succeed, you really got to focus on those main factors. That you got to make sure that if someone's going to be cheating, they're going to be banned or taken care of either way. Because I think Bungie's banning system or cheating software is very low. And I think if Destiny Rising was to implement that, if they had a PC simulator, it would bring a lot of good player base back into Destiny Rising.
Amazing. All right. Well, moving on to... Well, hold on. I wanted to ask this real quick, I know me and you've talked a little bit about the Arc Riders in your chat. You seen the thing in Call of Duty? There was another game that did it too. But there was, when they say the word Arc Riders or whatever, it would be dotted out with the asterisk symbol. You saw that?
Arc Riders.
No, like I'm talking about in Call of Duty, where if someone were to mention Arc Riders, like the word Arc Rider, you saw that, and then they responded back to it on Twitter?
Yes, I did see that. I saw Cross's video about it, and I thought it was...
I can't wait to play the game now because of that. Like, those guys are crazy.
It's like, if a company has to specifically put that in because the other company's games are being more successful than yours, it's sad. I mean, I'm sorry, but why is it that you have to censor a game in chat because it's, for a fact? I mean, that just tells you, okay, look, they're doing so much better than us, guys. We can't allow you to say anything about it because we don't want you talking about it when you're playing Call of Duty. This is our game. This is no one else's game.
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense. It's hilarious when you think about it.
It is. I wasn't sure if I was gonna play it, but now after seeing like the way they responded to it was the most classiest thing they could have ever done. Oh my God, it was breaking on Twitter too. It was crazy. I can't wait to play it now. Like, those guys are crazy.
Right? it's just if like, obviously when you make that decision, the game's gonna get more popularity. Less, because people are going to be talking about it on Twitter, and then you're going to get thousands of people viewing the Twitter page, and then after that, then it's basically self-advertisement for the game. Like you're trying to block the game, but you actually did the opposite.
It's crazy. Okay, well, moving on to another question we had here. This is for anyone. How do we what is the concern on the long-term sustainability of the game? How do we make this game survive, do a good 11 years like Destiny 2?
Give us roadmaps with content.
I don't think it's going to, man. Yeah, for one, you need some kind of roadmap. There's too much of in the dark in this game. Like, sure, they tell us that, okay, yeah, it's going to be Solar Arc, and then after that, it's going to be Arc Void, but they need to tell us when Calamity and Expanse being 2 weeks long every cycle, they need to tell us 2 weeks ahead what the Shinkas are going to be so that people can prepare characters for that and not have to wait till it actually shows up and then they go, oh crap, well, these 2 weeks it's spread in rapid fire. I don't have a character to do that. I'm screwed. Kind of deal. Because when you have the biggest farm of clusters being tied behind that, and you can only get them every 2 weeks, you can only get a few of them depending on how good you do in Calamity. I mean, even if you're an Overseer, you don't get enough to hit your Weapon Mastery 5. You only get 7. It takes 8 for the last one. So even then, you're still 2 cycles out of completing your level 5 of your Weapon Mastery.
It takes a whole month to do that if you're starting fresh.
Yeah. You can add some to PvP.
I actually
they need to add the clusters. They need to sprinkle them out in the game, just because put them in the raid encounters, even if it's only like a 5% chance to get one. Just put them on for basic at 2%, and it'll get people to go and queue in those. Put them in blitzes. You want to solve the issue of people not queuing up and getting backfilled with bots? Put the clusters in those activities for basic reward. Put them at 2.5%, something low. People will be in there because that's the last thing you pretty much need to finish out your characters.
Maybe shifting gates.
Having them. That's what I'm saying, bro. Please.
Put them everywhere, man. Put it in shifting gates. Put them in blitz. Put them in strike.
Yeah.
Put them in every activity. Just make it super low. And I mean, I've grinded. I've gotten plenty of 1% exotic weapon drop rates just from grinding blitzes, strikes, raids. I've gotten at least a dozen. So I mean, they drop. Yeah, it's painful getting one to drop, but at least you know there's a chance to get them.
Yeah,
that's true.
I agree.
And I agree with setting a roadmap. I think that's one thing that Destiny 2 had in the beginning, but now the content is so dry. No one knows what's coming. I mean, obviously there's Renegades that's happening, but I remember when Final Shape was done, and everyone was wondering, okay, Bungie, what's next? No one knew what was next. Okay, they announced the timeline. Everyone was great. But the timeline is so far apart. And when Ash and Iron got released, it was the most boring expansion that you have ever experienced. I mean, sure, they brought us back to the Plaguelands, but there was no Siva. There was no new event. There was no okay, scratch that. There was an event, but I'm not even going to call it a new event because
don't call it an event.
Because it was just you go there, you go to the Plaguelands. It was kind of like Onslaught. You're just progressing up a level, killing a final boss, and that's it. Sure, you get some backstory on the Vex and the Conductor and whatnot, but still, the fact that they had the opportunity to add something like Siva in the game. They could have made the Conductor go back in time, since apparently she has access the Legion. What's the Legion called?
You talking about the not the red,
the red, the Red War.
The Red War guys. I forgot their name. That's how long it's been.
But I'm the Red Legion. That's what they're.
Yes. God, I couldn't think of the name.
The Red Legion. So all I'm saying is Bungie had a perfect opportunity to take the Red Legion and apparently use something with the Siva, or even instead of the Red Legion, if apparently she can go back into time and grab the Red Legion, why couldn't she go back in time and get Siva and then bringing some sort of alternate timeline of Siva back into play, and then Ikora and the whole entire towers worrying about, oh my gosh, she's bringing back Siva, we gotta put a stop to her. Siva's in the Plague Lands, boom, there you go, new events, new story, new things. That would have been a perfect opportunity, but they missed out on that. I think, honestly, maybe if even the community has been begging Siva to come back. So if Destiny Rising was able to implement maybe even Siva into the game, that probably would bring back a substantial amount of player base to check out this new Siva that's being introduced. Because I know it's probably based way back before even, Siva was being introduced, but still, like maybe that time frame should allow like Siva or
I think it's in the same time frame, Real. I think it is, because remember the original Iron Lords, like you played Destiny 1, like Rise of Iron, like this was in their timeline. So I think they could. Yeah, it is. I think Rising could really implement that if they wanted to.
Perfect. I think, okay, then, well, hopefully they go a different route than killing off the Iron Lords, as we all know the story what happened, especially against Fellwinter, how Rasputin killed Fellwinter.
R.I.P.
I know, but they just introduced Fellwinter into the game, which is great. I mean, he's not an active character besides a hologram that you can interact with, but still, the fact that they introduced him brings to a lot of the story.
I have a question for you guys. Kind of based off of the characters that we've had released. What were your thoughts on the new Hellhest campaign, like her storyline? What were your guys' thoughts if you haven't played it or if you played it?
You talking about the Hellhest campaign?
Yes.
It was.
I can't comment on it because I'm the guy that skips through all the cutscenes, so I couldn't even tell you what's going on in anybody's storyline.
So, I like it. So I'll answer yours, and I want to tie something back to Reels. The campaign was great. I enjoyed Rossi, and I enjoyed Rossi more than I did Hellhest. But it was good to see more of the Awoken roots tied to the Hellhest storyline. I liked. There was the simulation box that contained like her DNA, so it could be like any version of Marisov. It could have been when she was a child or an old Awoken lady or whatever. Even with Hellhest, before she became a light bearer, she was one of the hunted people or whatever they called them, and you saw her just annihilate people. I think it was really cool to see that whole storyline. I wish we would have saw, even when you go to like the whole the Lord's Fellwinter's Peak place, the Fellwinter's Peak or whatever they call it, in that original area, and you go past that chamber door, you were only able to go there in Destiny 1. You couldn't even get there in D2. So the fact we were able to go inside like we were able to in Destiny 1 and see all the different statues of all the different Iron Lords and interact with each one for the story bits, and that was really, really amazing to see. And that was a pinnacle for me because we haven't seen that since Destiny 1. Rossi's story, on the other hand, was freaking
cinema.
It was, they couldn't have told that story better. Like you find out his name he's not even Rossi. Like this whole Rossi guy that we're playing, he's not even Rossi. He's Darius. For those of you who haven't played him yet, I won't spoil too much, but like Rossi died because of Darius. He killed him with his arc ability, injured his ghost, and then he died in the battlefield because of that. They were at war with the Fallen in their little home territory, and Darius assumed Rossi's identity. So like it sparked this whole venture quest where he wanted to repent for that. And so I don't know, I'm not gonna spoil everything, but I like that one. That was the first time we have ever saw anything like that with Destiny, like anything like a Guardian being executed. I'm sorry, that was amazing.
The only reason I asked,
so adding on to your question or thing there, so based around Hunt, so I want to know what's your thoughts on the whole event based around here. I personally think it's terrible because it's a whale event. It's a complete money event. You can't earn any of the rewards unless you are rolling for her.
No, I agree. I agree.
I think they did. I think this was very bad. You know, the other events, kind of the Morgans, Raid, everything else, people could go in there and compete and do it and earn rewards. This thing, you can't earn none of that stuff unless you roll in there and basically spend money.
I think that ties back around to where you have to pay to get a character, because the process of getting leaves is very, very long.
And you get 5 to 10. Like, that's
crazy. 5 for everything.
Right. And this was one of the questions when I was on the meeting with one of the research. Well, I didn't specifically put it as a question, but one of the researchers who came in and basically interviewed me is about Destiny Rising, and then she was going to pass on those questions to the developers. I specifically told her that, you know, if there's any chance to maybe increase the exotic drop rate, increase Lumina leave drop rates, because having to feel like the Lumina leaves drop at a very, very small rate. I mean, or you get like 10 to 20. I mean, you could do the event that gives you 400, but still you got to be a really high light level. The fact that you're getting so little leaves, it sucks. It really, really, really does suck. I mean, they should at least do more missions to unlock the limited edition characters, you can have a chance to get those kind of ships. I like to call them ships because they look like ships. like a good pirate ship. Boats. Yeah. But it's the fact that those are so rare to get in the game. I mean, you can only get 1 or 2, and you have to grind for it for a very, very long time to even get access to it. And the fact that 1 costs like 120 leaves, and you can get like 120 leaves as long as you continue through the game. It's a long, long process, but I think it's very important to maybe introduce like a login, 100 leaves per login per day, or 200 leaves per login per day.
That, but not for free. I mean, if you had the Tree of Blessing,
right,
90 leaves a day.
Which is high bounties also give you leaves per day, but it's 15.
Yeah, you get 60 a day from your bounties if you do their 4.
Well, someone was saying if you spend Pinnacle energy, like even if you just log in to spend your Pinnacle energy, you get the same amount returned in Lumia leaves.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I don't know if I would go 1 for 1, but maybe at least like half. If you do 20 Pinnacle energy, you get 10 leaves. That would be nice.
It would be.
But I mean, like 120, you get energy for a day. Like that's still that's not even enough for a draw. A draw is 180. So that seems, maybe like.
But I mean, still, you got to remember too, though. Like they can't. I just feel like if they gave you 1 for 1 on your Pinnacle energy and leaves, it might be too much, because you got to remember, in the end, the game's got to make money, right? So you can't give away that many leaves that easy. I just think that's too much.
It's true
to give away 1 for 1, but that's what I'm saying. Maybe at least half or a quarter of it or something, just something. But yeah, I don't think you could give 1 for 1. That's too much. I mean, the game's got to make money. It's just, how they go about doing it. I think their pricing is way out of touch. If they would lower the price on just their silver and stuff, I think they would have more people would stick around, dude. But $100 can't even guarantee you 60 draws. Like, that's crazy. You're talking like $130 to guarantee yourself a character. And then you want to talk about, I got to get 6 copies of them to make them like as powerful as possible. Like, that's insane.
Dude, it's like $800 to T6 somebody. Like, what? I spent, I don't know.
A character should cost like $30 max, 35 maybe, somewhere around there. But 100 to 130, but whatever it is. I mean, I know it's over 100 because it costs 10,000 or 18, whatever it is. Do the math, but it's over $100. You don't get enough silver for $100 to guarantee yourself 60 rolls. So they're just way out of touch with their pricing and like who they're targeting. Like if they're they're obviously targeting Destiny 2 players by doing the whole Destiny franchise. But I mean, you could tell that he's did research when they made this game because they added a lot of stuff that people from Destiny 2 have been asking for, right? But what they obviously failed to see was that Destiny 2 people are the biggest cheapskates in the world and cry about spending $10 for a battle pass that lasts for 3 months. Now you want to get them over here to play a game that cost over $100 for them to unlock the character? Good luck.
Then let
Like, it's
alone
not happening.
predicting it.
Right.
I like because I'm an Umiko
Right.
main. I main Umiko. I put I'm gonna say it. $200 to T6 her, right?
Jesus.
I don't talk about it. Awkward. I only got a T2 Estella in the same draw pool for $200. You're only telling me I get 3 total Estellas for $200? And then the same thing for Hellhest. I put 150 down on Hellhest, I'll tell you right now. Guess what? She's only T3. Do you know how many more polls I have to do for her? That's at least, like, if you calculate it on pity, that's at least 300 or 400. That is a lot of money per character. Also, them locking the story for you to have to purchase the character. You should be able to play out the character and see how they interact. I think it would make players be like, oh, I really like this weapon. I really do actually want to buy this character. But them making you buy the character to try out the character? Oh, God. That's awful.
Yeah, it's just...
Like,
Yeah,
have the
they,
intro
like I said,
maybe?
they just need to adjust, and I think they will because, like I said, I think there's. I wish I could see the numbers versus say, like maybe the first couple weeks of the game versus these past 2 weeks, because you can tell that the players are dropping out just by, like you said, the queue times to do stuff. You're getting backfilled with bots and everything, PvE activities, PvP. It's just it's going down, and it's just they got to do something to keep people around. And if they, like I said, they need to adjust their pricing, dude. Like, that is it's insane of what they charge.
And he's right, but like me, I don't like spending money in games unless I really, really enjoy them. But for example, Lord Brandon was there when
That was a memorable moment.
Yeah, I wanted Gwen, and I was like,
no.
okay, I gotta get Gwen. I gotta get
Oh,
Gwen.
no.
And
They got you.
I remember this.
I wanted to get Gwen so bad, and I was like, okay, I gotta get my Lumina leaves. Gotta get my Lumina leaves. I kept on spending, like, I kept on going and going and going until I got the boxes all the way down to 10 and 9 and 8, but I never got Gwen. So finally, I was like, all right, the Gwen's only here for 2 days. I can't get enough Lumina leaves in time. So I'm going to buy the premium or the Heroes bundle. Basically, you get the premium pass and you also get the sign-in bonus of the Lumina leaves and the coins for the black market. So I was like, all right. And then I did. But what happened? I made a mistake. And
Oh, God.
and instead of purchasing Gwen, I accidentally was like, oh, Lumina leaves. Okay, well, let me see if I can use those Lumina leaves for Estella. So I hit purchase times 10, but without having a confirmation that it went through. And I was like, So it went through. My 10 Lumina leaves that I just bought, the 10 ships that I just got from buying the premium battle pass or everything that came with it was gone. And I was like,
no.
and I sat there in shame. I was like, in shame. I was so in shame. I was like, okay, well, at least I got a Stella. Yay. And then, and then
But what? Them making
So
their
here's
character
another
only
thing.
viable
What do
at
you guys?
T6.
Yeah. So what about this? So here's something that I always think about. Like, I'm a paying player. Like, I have no problem spending money on the game. Like I said, I do think it's a little too aggressive, their pricing. But my other problem with, it's not a problem for me, but it's a problem that I see for the mass public of people, especially free to play players, is it goes back into like Calamity for one, and getting those clusters to finish out your characters and stuff. But this game, they need to change it. Like I said, sprinkle them out in the game, because Calamity Ops is basically an activity. I call it the rich get richer. If you're not in Master 1, 2, Overseer like that, like you're getting so little clusters. Well, you're never going to get like regular, typical, even low spending players or free to play players, especially. They're not going to get up into those ranks anytime soon, because they're still building their character up. Because you're not getting into Master if you don't have a 72k power player. That's, depending on the character, your tiers come into effect. But, if you're not 72k power minimum, you're not getting there.
On top of, you have to
And
have
it's
the
just
new
like,
characters and at T6, so you already have to spend to entry to get into those.
So they need to, like I said, they just need to put more stuff, because the only people that are going to be left playing this game, if they keep going like this in 3-4 months, are the whales. That's a small fraction of the people that are playing this game. Like, they're losing. They need to do stuff to keep the general low spender, buys the Tree of Blessing, maybe the Battle Pass, and keep those people around. Because, like, I played the alpha and the beta, so I had an advantage coming into this game. Coming out, I knew how to attack the leveling system and all that stuff. I knew how to do my resources wisely, not get sucked into the acclaim system and stuff like that. That's basically put in the game to get you off track and make you spread materials across several different characters, so that you hit that wall and then go, damn it, I got to log in tomorrow, because now I got to go back and backtrack and farm this other stuff for this character that I fucked up on because I spent all this shit doing this other stuff, kind of deal.
Or
So
they force your hand to swipe to get said materials to progress your character.
right, because there's several citizens and there's several things in this game for people that are just coming into it, that didn't play the alpha, didn't play the beta, haven't played gacha games. There's things set in this game to get you off that track of, let's say you just get on the game your first time ever, and the first time you're playing, and let us say you're a free to play player, you get wolfed, or you're going through the story, you're like, okay, I like Wolf. We'll just use him as an example, because that's the one they give you. And then you go, I'm going to power him up. But then, as you're going through the story, what does the game do? Hey, you need to raise 3 characters power to 30k. So you're like, well, okay, you got to allocate some resources across these. And then you keep going. Like, there's stuff in this game to slow you down and get you off track. They give you all those characters. When you first start up this game and go through, they give you a bunch of roles, because you got to do that whole quest of building your fire team. So they give you a bunch of roles to roll to get a bunch of characters, and people that are just starting out go, oh, sweet, I got Caber, I got Akora, I got Finala, and then they just start dumping material. As fast as they get the materials, they just spread them into every single character in their inventory, and then they go, uh-oh, I shouldn't have did that. Now I'm set back a whole week in time because I spread all my materials across 6 characters.
You think we should have a reset button?
I think they need to.
Yes.
Well, there is one. You have to do it before you finish the handbook, though. As soon as you finish the handbook, everything that you've spent's locked in. But you can reset any character before you finish the handbook.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I didn't even know there's a handbook.
You go into their relic. Well, that's what it is. Your guide. Your chapter 1-1, 5-3, whatever. That's your handbook.
Yeah, it's like
the story.
Oh, son of a gun.
Yeah, you click on any characters, like you go into their relic abilities. There's a little red button down in the bottom corner. It says reset, and it'll pull you back all the materials that you spent leveling up their signature abilities, their weapon mastery through that time. But if you don't do it, because like I'm getting ready to do it, because I started an alt character because of all the people coming in my chat talking about free to play and advice, and I was like, you know what, I'll go make one and show you guys. I'll make some videos of how you play this game as a free to play player.
I saw that you're doing a free to play character playthrough, right? If I'm not mistaken, I saw you on Ningfei doing a free to play account, right?
Who, me?
Yes.
Yeah, I have a free to play. I just started it this past Saturday, so I'm only 5 days in.
Yeah, when I realized you're on the panel, I was watching some of your content, and yeah, it was good to watch. I was watching you do Blitz on your Ning Fei. I think it was Blitz.
And that's only for the main
I'm
sword?
about to finish.
Yes.
I'm about to finish the handbook, like most likely tomorrow. I'm on the last chapter right now. So, but yeah, you can do that. You can pull the resources back because, like you said, through the handbook, you have to do 3 characters because it's always raise 3 characters to 30K. Now raise 3 characters to 40, whatever it is. So the smart thing to do, but new people that are playing this game aren't going to know this because they show it to you in the handbook, but unless you're really paying attention, you're going to just skip right past that whole part.
Yep.
Yeah, and he's right.
Of doing that.
Yeah, no, he's right.
But you can get literally up to the last mission of leveling up, spreading materials across the 3 characters that you have to, and then once you get ready to start the last mission, you go to the other characters other than Wolf, pull all the resources back off of them, and now you have all that stuff back to then focus with if you like those characters, then you keep them in there. It doesn't really matter, but you can pull them back just in case. Because in my opinion, if you're a free-to-play player, you should be Wolf. That's it.
Yep.
You get him. They give him to you T6. They give you his exotic. They give you the first caddy. If you're free to play, just be a Wolf main.
That's literally
you're not gonna get a Hellhest to tier 6 if you're free to play. It's just not gonna happen. You're not gonna get any limited edition character to T6 anytime soon. Yeah, if you save up leaves for the next 3.5 years, maybe by that time when whoever comes into the pool, you'll have enough leaves. You'll have enough leaves to then roll them out and get them tier 6. But you're not getting a limited edition character tier 6 as a free to play player. And there's no point of having it. Depends on your goals in the game. If you want to compete in Calamity, you don't got a T6 character, you're not 72K plus, it's not happening. You're getting nowhere. You may get an expert 1, 2, somewhere around in there, but that's where you're gonna live. You're gonna live in expert rank. You're not gonna make it to Master 1. You're not gonna make it to Master 2. You definitely aren't making it to Overseer if you don't have a tier 6 73K character.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my whole point of the game is and you get rewarded based on what tier you're in. So it's like the rich get richer kind of thing. I think they need to do some balance, man. They need to do something.
The rich get richer, the poor get poorer.
But even with Wolf T6, right? You can so Wolf's a solar character with rapid fire, and I guess he has spread break. There's no reason to take a Wolf over a Stella T6. So even at that point, if you people queue in, one person locks Ning Fei, one person locks a Stella, the other person locks a Wolf, they're instantly going to say swap off Wolf. You know what I mean? Or they're just going to leave. And that's that's just random.
Well, I mean, it depends on what the activity. It depends on what the activity is.
I'm talking about Calamity. I'm sorry, I thought we were still on the Calamity pool, but yeah, I'm talking about for Calamity to push up higher rank. No one's going to want to take a Wolf over an Estella.
Well, yeah.
You'll take Wolf for spread.
For this current cycle, right? For this current cycle right now, I'll take a tier 6 Wolf if he's tier 6 73K. That means his smart bomb is all the way geared out. Smart bomb gets busy, man, when it's maxed out.
Oh yeah, it does.
When you have it maxed out, you have the right artifacts. You're running the right artifacts, and you know how to play Wolf. He's legit.
Great. Yeah, he's great. Yeah, no, that's what I was like. I've been pushing Lord to make a video on him. I'm like, bro, he's actually low key sleeper pick. He's really good. You just have to build him correctly.
That's why I say that. That's why I constantly tell free to play people that come in my chat. I'm like, just do Wolf. Put all your effort into him, and you will be fine in the game, and you'll be able to reap the rewards. And then once you have your Wolf all pimped out, now you can start doing another character. But your first goal should get Wolf to 72, preferably 73. That means you don't hit 73 unless you have a fully maxed out smart bomb. Right. So you get to 73K, now you're set. You have one character that even if there's activities that aren't suited for him, if it's not rapid fire and it's not spread, depending on if it's Calamity, the 2 other people in your group, he still works. I mean, Ning Fei, prime example. People are using Ning Fei in stuff where there's no rapid fire, but Ning Fei's in there because he's viable.
He was skipping people. That's why they brought Ning Fei, and that's a whole.
Yeah, I mean, he gets the speed, he gets the skips as well. But my whole point is, you can take someone with Wolf, go in any activity, and let's just say everything's void shield. Well, he doesn't have a void weapon, but you have someone on your team that's a Gwen or someone else that can break the void shields, and there's a room full of enemies. Once those void shields are off, and that Wolf pulls out that smart bomb where he's loaded in the supercharged nades, he clears the room.
Yeah,
right.
Literally. And that's what I mean. He's viable. He's viable. That's why you should be focusing on him if you're free to play. Like, that should be your character.
Right.
I've been playing this game since launch, and I didn't think of that perspective because he natively can do spread and rapid fire, and I didn't think of it like that.
Ning Fei is at least the most popular PvP class to choose.
Oh yeah, it's just because of the movement. Mainly the movement, the clone as the distraction, the chain lightning. I mean, it's just he's the best.
Doesn't block my sniper. I disagree.
Overall, he's the best.
Crazy. Sniper in this game is just too crazy. Like double tapping people. Oh, it's dopamine.
Since we're on this topic of Calamity, how do we feel about the division and the leaderboards? And let's start with that before we do the part 2 to that.
Oh, I got a good one for this.
Go ahead.
I personally think exploiting in anything with a leaderboard should be considered cheating, and it should be bannable. Hot take. Yep.
They don't feel the same about that though. They don't.
I know.
NetEase, they're so bipolar.
I didn't even hear the question because you kind of like cut out on my end. What was the question?
How do we feel about the divisions and Calamity, and just like everything Calamity, and Tiva responded back.
I think you take the division out and just keep it with score. If you hit this score, you get this many clusters. If you hit this score, you get this much. If you hit this score, this is, and take out the whole competing against people, because with the previous one, if you didn't have a Ning who knew how to like skip across those pistons and do a bunch of other stuff, you're not ranking up. And a thing that gives you rewards based on where you play shouldn't come down to going through, the Foundry. Do you guys even know the skip in the very beginning where you can go jump up on the rocks and go through the little cave and go basically walk all the way up the bridge?
Yep.
If you didn't do that, you're not scoring. You're not getting those scores that those guys are getting because they're doing it. They're doing that. They're using a Ning. They're jumping across those pistons. They're doing all the Ning tech that, you shouldn't have to do that to compete. You shouldn't have to do an exploit.
That's
to
my
compete.
Whole point. Yeah, that was my whole point. Like, I think exploiting, though I understand the Destiny community has done exploits for, every bit of content, I personally think it takes away the integrity of the content. Especially when you're exploiting, it should be considered cheating. It's a personal opinion, But I am a main PvPer, so I do deem exploits and like that kind of stuff a little bit more harshly. I understand, but like for a free-to-play casual player, not knowing those skips and doing it like that, they're never gonna rank up. So then they're defeated. So then your casual player base feels like they have to almost cheat to acquire that, and that does not sit well with me. I understand that people have different opinions of exploiting. I do. I'm not trying to call anybody out.
Yeah. I agree with you 100%, man. Like, if you're going to have an activity that rewards people for how well they did and you're competing against everybody, then exploits can't be a part of that system. It ruins it completely.
Yeah, because if you exploit
now, if you're just talking a PvE activity where there's no reward for being on the leaderboard and you're doing exploit, I don't really care because that doesn't affect me, right?
Yep.
There's no leaderboard, so it doesn't matter. you want to exploit that, go right ahead. But when you have leaderboards that are giving out rewards based on this stuff, yeah, you can't have that kind of stuff going on.
But that's
Right.
been in Destiny. Like, people have exploited. I mean, I like in every raid. I mean, not every raid, but like, there's so many exploits, and this, like, I feel like it's not like, hey, how do I do this boss encounter? It's like, no, how can I break this boss encounter to make it easier? Not like, hey, I don't want to learn the mechanic. No, I'm just gonna figure out how to break it, and that's just it kind of ruins the integrity of it. And am I like, feel free to like combat me on this, because I don't really like PvE in Destiny is something that I honestly like ignored. I don't want to say ignored. I did a couple
Well,
of
right.
ritual
I
bursts,
mean,
but like, but at the same time,
but
it does
it's
nonsense.
even worse in this game. When you'd say is pretty much what you're saying. It's worse in this game because you get rewarded for exploiting. You get more
Exactly.
clusters. You get more leaves. So it's like they're basically encouraging. It's encouraging to go and try to find the exploits in the thing because you're competing for rewards. So
I am
go
real
figure
curious.
them out.
I am curious about how Lord and Reels think about this, because I know
Yeah.
that you guys are both like super like veterans in that subspace. Like, I know you guys are. Like, I not saying that Monkey you aren't, but like I know that is what you guys like. I know Lord, like you're a PvE guy. You did 200 plus Eclipse runs, carries, or whatever you want to
Yeah.
Like, what are your opinions on that?
So I'll start with the Destiny Rising before I get into the Destiny 2 stuff. So when it came to Calamity, we were doing helps on stream, helping who we could to get into Master. We were guaranteeing Master runs. We're trying to with the attempts we had. This was before they did the patch to the Out of Bounds, and Callie, one of the other guys in our group, sent a ticket in. It was like, hey, he was essentially reporting the Out of Bounds because people were going through. They were actually topping off on this. They were killing boss at like 5-0 or 4-0, and they were getting like a little over 400, which is like
What?
the max. Yeah, it was crazy. Like, you had like two Nings that were racing to the end. You could get to the last boss with the Out of Bounds, and so they were topping off like the absolute maximum score. So he sent a support ticket in and reported it, and they responded back to him, and they told him they did not care. It was not impacting. That's what they told him. If I'm wrong, Callie, if you're in here, correct me, but that's what they told him.
That it's not impacting
And
the
so yeah, they said it wasn't impacting it. So what I started doing was I had already filmed. I had filmed 2 videos. I'm starting a series on the YouTube that explains the first video will show my clear getting into Master for every strike, and then the second one would explain. A second video would follow that and explain how did I do this, the strats that we use, the possible team comps. And so when he told me that, I'm like, oh, so you're telling me they don't care? So on stream, we did this for like 7 hours straight on stream. Once he told me that, I'm like, okay, if they don't care, then I'm gonna start doing it. So every run we did, we started doing the Out of Bounds, and we got a lot of people into Master. And it was to the point to where I had just posted my legit. You can go to my channel. I just posted the legit run that we did. We worked our butts off to get there. And I was like, okay, well, if they don't care and they're not going to fix it, then I'm just going to do my explaining video explaining how to do the Out of Bounds. Well, the next day, this is what I don't understand. The very next day, they patch it, and then they release a in-game message in the mail. I'm serious. They release a in-game message in the mail, and they said that they patched it and that your attempts were refunded and that the scores that you had were reset. And I'm sitting here thinking, well, hold on a second. Why was my attempt for Master? Because mind you, we were doing expert. They don't count. So if you guys are unfamiliar, the way they do Calamity is if you are in Master and you are helping people who are an expert, it does not count your scores. It will only count them up since they are the lower rank to get them in the Master. And so the Master attempt that I had was a legit run. Why was my score reset? You guys quote unquote didn't care. Why was my Master run that was legit at 390 reset for these other people who are doing that? I didn't understand it. You guys claim you don't care, but then you reset someone who was legit doing it with a video, with on video doing it. The only time I did the exploit, the out of bounds, was helping people in chat to get into master. None of my runs were master runs, so I didn't understand it. I really didn't. I didn't understand it. You guys claim you don't, but then you put out a patch. Oh, I mean, what's the answer here? Do we care or do we not care? Because that's what we're gonna put guides out on, and that's what we're gonna help people on. So a little clear narrative will help us.
Right.
Well, their customer service is a joke all around, dude. I had a purchase in the game where I spent 800 silver for something from Pandora, one of her little pop-up deals, and it didn't give me the items. And I put in a ticket. Dude, they're a joke. Like,
What did they say? If you
so
don't
long story short, they didn't give me the materials I was supposed to get or my silver back.
Excuse me.
But yeah, they're basically what they wanted from me was a screenshot of it. I'm like, dude, what do you want me to do? Go back in time and get a screenshot of how much silver I had, my inventory before I clicked on that deal, and then show you a screenshot right after it? Like, how am I supposed to provide that kind of information? So you're basically telling me anytime I play your game, I need to be live recording my whole gameplay in case something happens in the game so that I can show you the video of it. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, their customer service sucks.
That's baseline information that they can have in their own coding software. I mean, there's so many games that actually, like, you know, if it glitches out,
Well, that was the thing. They were like, well, what time did this happen? What day and time did this happen? I was like, it happened around this time, on this day, blah, blah, blah. And they go, and then they come back through their email a day later or whatever and try to say that their records don't show it. And I go, exactly. There's a bug that happened in your game, you idiots. Like, what? That's the whole point of me telling you this. I paid, it took my silver, I did not get the items. Whether your system shows that or not isn't my problem. That's your problem.
Right.
So yeah, their customer service sucks. But yeah, calamities, and they got to fix it, man. Well, I don't know what their answer is to do, but they got to do something, because if it's because it comes down to whether you know the exploits or not, basically.
Right.
And if you have a name that can speed run and get ahead and stuff like that. But
I don't think
every
unsucks are a part of
calamity
that
we've
either.
done so far has an exploit in it.
Yeah, they need to balance it, whether it's more time with the multipliers, because we, even on our legit runs, like even on the legit run we just did for the pit here, or no, the foundry that was last week, we were having unstuck. I don't think you should be using the unstuck button to pull to where Ning
That's
is.
That's an exploit.
Yeah.
That's an exploit as well. That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
But that was the only way legit. Like, if you did not run a team of 3 Nings doing this, you couldn't even beat it with 3 Nings because you needed an impact. But they got to do something, like, because the only way you were beating that legit, quote unquote legit, is you had to unstuck. You had to. There was no other way to beat that legit. So they got to give more time on the multiplier.
If you wanted to get into masters, you had to do the exploits.
But is that considered legit if you're exploiting? Or
That's what I'm saying. It's not.
Yeah.
It's exploiting, yes,
No, I
but
don't
it's the only
consider
way.
Yeah.
It's not legit because that's not the way that it's intended for it to be done. So if it's not the way it's intended for it to be done, I consider it an exploit.
Same.
The run's not intended for you to unstuck or jump in the fire and die so that you can respawn up to where the Ning is, so that when he hits that door, you can unstuck and then you're right there next to the enemies and you can kill him while he keeps running. Like that's not how it's meant to be done.
I agree, and that's what we were having to do. Like, you guys out there in the world, go send me a video of a team that runs it from start to finish without any unstucks or any out of bounds that kills on a 1.8. You go find me a video that does that.
It won't. You can't.
It's crazy.
Well, that's even
It's just not possible.
Okay, Well, that was an amazing Calamity topic. Let's move on to the new stuff. How are we feeling about the 2 new characters, and how are we feeling about the bows?
Bows suck.
Have you shot somebody with a bow in PvP?
Well,
I gotta ask.
well,
Have
that's
any of you shot somebody with a bow in PvP?
I haven't tried it yet. I haven't tried it yet. I'm scared to.
Well, one, good fucking luck. 2, how does a bow have a longer TTK than any scout rifle in the game? Its headshot does less damage than a scout rifle. Excuse me? Excuse me?
Yeah,
I'm
like
here trying
you,
to skip
you can
with a bow.
take that mythic. You can take that mythic bow and go up against. Well, you would go into practice range. We put an enemy out there, right? You take that mythic bow and see how quick you kill it. I'll pull out my total lockdown with the rate of fire mod that I have it with. What's it got? Annihilation allocation vector on there,
Mhm.
and I'll kill that thing 3 times faster than you will with that bow.
Yeah.
The bows are trash.
Now, I'll say this
I
to the
haven't-
PvP side of things. Like, bows in D2, obviously, in PvP, like, they were good in PvE. Like, some GMs, like, you need to run it, but, like, PvP, it wasn't preferred. Really, I know you know a little bit about it. There are some builds you can 2-tap with bows, but in this game right here, it's a joke.
Even 1-tap now.
Seriously.
You can't even track the bow's trajectory. It doesn't even make sense. Like I tried, I have. I don't even want to get into it, but like it was the worst experience. I almost uninstalled the game. I'm not even gonna lie. I like ended my stream and I was like, I don't even want to play that ever again. Like I was like, I don't want to play that ever again.
Jeez.
It was awful. It felt that bad. Like it was that bad.
It sounds terrible.
It was terrible.
Yeah,
Like, and I played
and I think
I've
the
both
two, in terms of the 2 new characters, I think. I mean, me personally, like Hellhest isn't my play style, so I don't really care for her. She's definitely good, especially in like Calamity right now. If you have a Hellhest and 2 Nings, and she feeds you freaking heavy ammo the whole time, and you get to use your maxed out Maha, like you shred because you're full time in the cross, bro, with her. But she's just not. She's not my play style, so I don't personally like her, but I definitely feel she definitely has a place. But I prefer Rossi over her. Like he's more fun to play for me than her. But
Yeah.
in the end, like they're still not too. He's not one of my favorite characters in the game either, though. But I just, in terms, if I had to say which one do I like the best out of the 2, for me it's Rossi.
You go Ning or Rossi with Muhammad Yuri.
Well, that's why I like Rossi as well, because I have a fully maxed out Maha, so I can use my Maha on Rossi's. So that plays into him as well.
Okay.
And the fact that you throw his little bubble and you grab a bunch of enemies into his bubble, and then you use the hip fire on Maha,
Mm-hmm.
since they're all stacked on top of each other, it just shreds them.
Mhm.
Okay.
So yeah, but
So
what do you guys think about the 2 characters?
I like it. Bows are. I feel like bows are only from what I've played on Hellhest and Rossi. I feel like at least Trinity is only good on Hellhest. I feel like with salvo mode, I feel like it shreds, but then again, you don't have salvo up all the time, and I feel like you do have to spec into weapon enhancement. Obviously, and you've got to have an arc boost in there as well. I think that's the only way you pair at least Trinity to be somewhat viable in the game. But then this begs the question, like, okay, at least on Hellhest, or even on Rossi, are we gonna run Trinity over Queensbreaker? No. Are we gonna run Trinity over Maha? No, because that's not what's tanking these guys down, especially with the bows hitting so like for crap. So like bows, they need a buff.
Well, I think the other thing too, though, that comes with the Hellhest is just her kit in general, though, because you have to be able to get kills with her to generate the data to make the heavy. And so it's like Trinity Ghoul like you said, like you got to really build into it to kill stuff with it. You got to have that weapon enhancement. You got to have the arc, because you got to get the kills to get the data to then make the heavy from your drones.
Mm-hmm.
But you get into a thing where it's like, all right, so what's more important here is me being able to kill stuff faster because we're in like a calamity ops type of scene. Then it's like, well, do I go I probably go royal contravene at that point, right? Because I need to be able to melt the Shinkas and the boss.
Mm-hmm.
Because the mythic linear just doesn't even compare to royal contravene, you know, especially when royal contravene's maxed out and your Hellhest is maxed out. Like that thing gets busy. So it's like, but then you're walking around with the mythic bow trying to get kills on the other stuff, and it's just like it just sucks.
I will say this too with the drop of the new characters. I want to see how you guys feel about this too. And I know there's a virus. I don't know if you guys know of him, but he said this too, and I agree with him 100%. I don't think Trinity Gold should have been in the Battle Pass because it's an iconic Destiny 2 weapon introduced in Forsaken. Everyone in Destiny 2 has played Trinity Gold. I don't care if you're a new light, you know what Trinity Gold is, and you've played it at least once. And so for it to be in the Battle Pass, I feel like it's a disappointment. Yeah. Go ahead, Real.
I actually have not had the chance to, play with a bow yet, or even log on Destiny Rising. Hence, because Battlefield 6 came out. But now that you say that Trinity Gold's in the Battle Pass, it really sways me in a different path, because I agree with you. Trinity Gold was first introduced in Destiny 2. It was an exotic you can earn, and the fact that they're having to put that in a battle pass really makes me feel like, is that really necessary? I don't think. Honestly, I don't think they should have added that in the battle pass.
Real, you got to think of this too. Like, one, right? It's in the battle pass. Two, if you want to max it out, guess what? You got to spend real money to max it out.
Yeah.
That's what like pisses me off about the Furies as well. You can't get those guns inside the game. They don't drop from any activity. You have to get them from the battle pass, and you do not get enough of those eggs to buy the copies out of there. So you have to have black market coins, which it costs 50,000 to get 10 of those eggs. So basically, if you want to max that weapon out anytime soon, you're spending real money. You're buying the rest. You're making up the difference by spending the real money in the market for the eggs, which is kind of garbage. I'm okay with it if they do it different. So like Furies was in the previous one. Well, once the next battle pass comes out, now we have Trinity Ghoul. Furies should go into the game somewhere. It should be dropped from an activity now. Go into the pool in the blitz pool, or in the strike pool, or in the shifting gates pool. Hell, put it in shifting gates for all I care. I mean, yeah, it sucks if it would be there, but at least it's there for if the people that want to max out the current battle pass weapon have the option. You can spend money and you can max it out, or you wait till the next battle pass and then it's going to be inside the game. You can get your third and fourth copy of it to finish it off. But nope. There's strictly battle pass in the exotic shop that is going to require you to you wouldn't have to spend money to get Furies, but you're going to have to wait 2 more battle passes to get enough eggs to get the copies. So most people aren't going to do that. So it's just like, whatever, man. Like having guns that are basically you have to pay to upgrade them fully, and there's no other option is pretty bad.
Right.
I will say this
but
too.
Yeah, putting Trinity Ghoul in there too is pretty kicking the nuts too, because if they had to put a better bow, like maybe like Le Monarch, if they would have brought that over, I
even
think
that though,
better.
Even that, like I don't want to see no Destiny 2 weapons.
Right, I understand that, but my whole point is that they put Trinity Ghoul in there and as the bow, which you basically have to pay money to max it out, and it's pretty bad for like in game in this game. Sure, it mops up little red bars when you're farming Gauntlet Blitz and stuff, but take it into Master Calamity, and it's garbage.
I think honestly,
Right?
if they're
It's
gonna
not
do
viable.
something, yeah, and if they should do something in Battle Pass, it should be a unique weapon. It
I
shouldn't
agree.
be something in from
It should
Destiny
be a
2.
new, it should be a weapon that they come up with in the battle pass. Yeah, most definitely. It shouldn't be ported over. Weapons from D2 shouldn't be in the battle pass. It shouldn't be the battle pass weapon.
Right?
It should be something new.
Think, yeah, and I think honestly, that's not a good thing. Like a good thing on their side, because it's just like, you know, last season you did perfect for introducing a brand new weapon, which was the pulse rifle. But this season it's a D2 exotic that should be earnable in game through exotic engram. You should have made a completely different bow, something that was unique on your guys' side, instead of having to implement Trinity's goal from Destiny 2.
Basically, cop, cut, and paste from Destiny. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just that's what I think. I think they should have done that.
Well, I don't know. If they do move forward in the future, hopefully if they even listen to this, bring out, if they're gonna do the 2 new characters, I don't mind them being like bows or whatever, but leave the mythic bow where people can earn it. What they should have done is put the mythic bow where you can earn it, like we have been doing now. Trinity goal and some random exotic pool somewhere besides the battle pass, and then a new weapon. I think that would have made the most sense, at least in my opinion. But I don't know.
I'm interested to see what's going to happen with the next banner being the gunslinger. So it's going to be, of course, it's going to be the gunslinger with Maru as the 4-star in the banner. So I'm wondering what weapon they're gonna bring with that, because if I had to guess, I'm gonna guess the gunslinger is gonna main a hand cannon. I mean, it only makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So are they gonna bring? So like this current banner, of course, both of the characters can use a bow, but the gunslinger and Maru uses the heavy GL and the primary GL. The gunslinger most likely gonna use a hand cannon. Have no idea what his heavy's gonna be, so my guess is, would you think that they're gonna bring a weapon that only suits Maru, because we don't have a exotic primary grenade launcher in the game yet?
Right.
Someone's thinking the last
So it
word
only
in
makes
chat.
sense to me. That's what I was thinking too. But then again, I go back to that point of, we have Ikora. She has no option other than Two Tails as an exotic weapon, because there is no primary grenade launcher exotic. We're bringing in Maru. She uses primary GL as well. So my thought, if I had to predict, I think maybe they're going to bring in a GL. And if they do this whole Destiny 2 thing again, what are they going to do? They're going to bring Witherhoard? They're going to bring freaking Dead Messenger?
No, there's an exotic GL in the game already. You played the alpha, so you may have already seen it. It's that waveframe one that detonates on impact or whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, the one we did in the
trial.
Did in the little thing. Yeah, but we only used it in the trial.
But that could be a possibility that they introduce that too. If they do go the Maru route, I mean there is a high chance for that.
But I don't even know that was an exotic GL. It was just a waveframe GL.
I think it was an exotic because remember, if you got a kill with it, it reloaded the heavy. So it created the gameplay loop, like kind of like bait and switch, where you would start off with the GL, then go to the rocket, back to the GL, reload, and then it created that like loop of where you didn't have to reload as much with the 2, and you could shred. And that's why I think it was an exotic. It could have been a mythic perk for all I know.
Yeah, who knows? I hardly remember the GL though, because it was only in the little trial. So yeah, that's the only time you got to use it.
Yeah. Okay, so we have one last question, and then we'll do everyone's final takes before we wrap it up. Do we get rid of Pinnacle Energy in this game? Or if not, what do we do to improve it?
No.
I'll go first, and I'll keep it short so that you guys can chime in. But you don't get rid of it, because this is, in the end, that's what kind of game this is. It's a gacha game. All gacha systems have this kind of pinnacle energy system because, like I said, this game is designed. It's not designed for us people that came from Destiny 2 that like to play 6 to 8 hours a day. It was designed to us to get our attention by using the Destiny franchise to get us to come over here and play it. But in the heart, it is a gacha game. It's not meant for you to play 6 to 8 hours a day. It's meant for you to get on for an hour, spend your pinnacle energy if you want to, and then go touch grass or go do whatever. And I like that about this game, that I'm kind of like limited by them of what I can do, because it encourages you to go do something else. It's like you get on for an hour, you do what you do. If maybe you got lucky and got the drops, or you were farming, whatever. If you didn't, you come back tomorrow and do it again. But you only spend an hour of your time doing it. So
Go ahead, bro.
that's my short form of that.
I agree with him. I think no, because it's supposed to be a mobile game more than an actual Steam game or PC game or even console game. It's more just it's like any other gacha game that you see on the App Store. You go in, you play, you only have a limited amount of energy, and then you gotta wait another day for it to come back. I think for Destiny Rising itself, there's unlike Destiny 2, where you can sit and play hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. I feel like in Destiny Rising, you don't have the option, if you're only playing on a mobile, to be sitting down and playing it for hours and hours and hours like a real live game in Destiny 2. I think the fact that they have the reward system, the pinnacle energy, I think that's perfect. That's perfect. You go in, you play for a little, and then you're done. I think that's almost all mobile users who play gacha games. They go in, they play for maybe 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and then they stop, and then they go play whatever, or go outside, touch grass, or whatever they're gonna do next. I think that's also important. But that's just that's my thoughts. I don't think it should leave the game, because honestly, when I log in, it satisfies me. And unless I run out of pinnacle energy, unless I'm grinding the game, then I'm like, oh, I wish I had more pinnacle energy. But then again, I think it's okay.
Yeah. It sucks when you run out right when you're in the middle of like farming up some mats, and you're like, damn it, I only needed one more run and I would have enough mats to do the upgrade I was trying to do. That's when it sucks. And you're like, why do we got this stupid system, man? Get rid of it. But then it's just like, I just come back and get it tomorrow.
Right.
Eva, any thoughts on this one?
Yeah. I think pinnacle energy is okay. But I don't. I guess I feel like I'm alienated out on this one. But because I think all materials and all rewards should be able to be grinded upon, even without energy. It's a personal opinion. I think it would, make because you're appeasing two different sides of the coin, right? It's your casual player base, the mobile users, also your Destiny 2, players who came off of the Destiny downcline. I think every material should be able to be farmed, even without a very low drop rate from whatever activity inserted and how you feel. I think that materials and just things in the game should be able to be farmed at any time. And I think energy should, as it's doing, increasing the drop chance, because to upgrade your catalyst, those little blue swirly galaxy looking things. Yeah, whatever it is. Those are such a low drop rate. I think I've gotten 2 total, and I've been farming every single day, spending my energy only on the legendary campaign to get maybe 1 or 2. I think everything should have a base farm rate, even if it's being low. I think we touched about it in in strikes, just giving us a little bit of a chance to farm something without pinnacle energy. Insidious clusters, because you can't even build out your characters. We touched on that, several times today already. Not being able to farm out certain currency in the game really kind of slows down even everyone's progression, and I think that a lot of people are already past that point of where they're just waiting to, get Mastery 5 on most of their characters. Most of their stuff is farmed out, but we should be able to farm still without energy.
Right. And I think honestly, if they wanted to increase the pinnacle energy, they should make something unique, like adding the higher level you are, the more pinnacle energy you can achieve. Like instead of having it maxed out like at 260, I believe it's at 260, they should increase the amount of pinnacle energy. At least maybe a different leveling system, a different quest tab, or something. To introduce to where your pinnacle energy cap is increased a little bit instead of maxing out at 260. I mean, that could be an idea for later down the road. I don't know if they'll ever do that, but that's just something. If people have a problem with pinnacle energy, they're not feeling like they're having enough, then increase the maximum cap of pinnacle energy. So therefore, they don't have to worry about, I'm falling behind.
What cap are you talking about? The daily cap or the cap of 360, where if you don't log in for 3 days, then you're basically wasting energy because it doesn't hold more than 360.
I'm talking about the pinnacle cap, not daily cap, but pinnacle cap. Instead of 360, make it like 400, 500, make it based on tiers or whatever you can find.
So why that? Because people go to the overflow.
Why would that do anything though? Because that's basically all that is basically a safety net to where it allows you not to feel like you have to log in every day, because you get 120 every day. So if I'm sitting at 0 pinnacle energy today, then I can come back in 3 days and I'll have a full 360, and then I can get busy spending it. So, but you're saying raise that to even more, which basically when you're saying that, all I'm hearing from that is that, it just allows me to be off the game for even more days then.
Well, even not just that, but like,
I think maybe it would be better if you say, let's raise the daily amount to, like, I don't know, throw another 60 on top of it. Give us 180 a day. Then that could be nice.
I think, because you only get 170, right? Or no, 100.
You get 120 a day.
Right.
And your bank is 360, so you can't store more than 360 pinnacle energy.
Right.
But most people ain't storing pinnacle energy anyways. They're getting on and blowing through their 120 as fast as they can, because they get on, they use their 120, and tomorrow can't come fast enough for them because they want to go farm some more stuff that they need pinnacle energy for.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if you go back to my point, you allow things to be farmable, you might retain longer attention spans from people, and you get put it into Blitz, put it into other forms of content. Like I think
everyone would agree with you on that. I mean, we talked about that earlier. Just put every material in the game and make it super low drop rate. That way the grinders can grind. If you want to grind for those clusters at a 1.5% drop rate in strikes, then have at it. But at least we have the option to do it.
Yep. Because it just feels terrible. Because I think the energy system is overall fine. This is I played a little bit of Diablo Immortal when it first launched, but I got away from that so quick just because it was it's bad. Anyways, so this is my first technical gacha game. I've never played Genshin. I've never played Wuthering Waves. I've never played a gacha. So to me, I think the energy is fine, but not being able to farm and then choke holding, because that Weapon Mastery 5 on a lot of characters makes or breaks your character. Like Umiko, she gets another 10% extra pierce. That's crazy. She gets an extra 10% damage for her team. What the hell? Or it's 8%, something like that. But still, it's it feels awful not being able to farm said currency. And I do think the energy system is completely fine. The 120, I think it's fine. Like you said, maybe slap 60 on it. But at the same time, if you could farm it, without pinnacle energy, I don't think any of us would even complain about pinnacle energy. Just make the pinnacle energy that you're using, make it a higher percentage or double rewards as they do for the legendary campaign. I guess it's you use the double to get, anyways, make 20 actually count as you'd be using 40, just do something adjusting it a little bit. But I do think the energy system is fine, from being somebody who has no experience with any gacha game. but just let me farm something. Like, because then I feel bored. Like, if I could farm strikes, then you can engage with your chat. You could do blitzes. You can engage with your chat more for just the streaming side of things. Like, you could be pulling in blitzes and, just spamming them, Lord could be hanging out with his chat, vibing out, reading chat, hanging out, because blitzes are super casual, right? Like, he could be
Right.
sitting there hanging, talking to everyone, doing his helps. Oh, hey, let's go farm. We're going to do a Friday night farm clusters, right? Just say it's got a 1% drop chance or 2, whatever. And then just doing a bunch of them and then getting new people in and getting engagement. And and on top of the streaming side of things, give drops for leaves. There's no drops in this game. Do you know how much more people would want to watch and be in the Twitch channels if there were drops behind it? Do 60 lumen leaves a day. Something baseline simple. A game like Albion Online does it perfectly. You have to watch, I think it's an hour or 2 hours, and you get a little chest, and the chest gives cosmetic rewards in the game.
Mhm.
That's cool. That's really cool. And they're all different and stuff. And then it drops you a little currency that you can save up and then buy whatever selected cosmetic that you want from just Twitch drops alone. Do something like that, because then you get more engagement from your community. You'd see more people popping up wanting to stream the game,
Right.
Yeah, that kind of goes into that's exactly how when I first started streaming years ago on Mixer, I started with a game. I don't know if any of y'all have played, but Paladins, and Paladins did.
That was a great game.
Beautiful game.
Yeah,
Amazing.
people watched your stream. They got Mixer points, and then you could take those Mixer points and go buy skins in the game with. And I became a partner in 2 months because of that game and that system.
Yeah, no,
Because there was literally on, and people would come in because they knew I'd be on for 8 hours, and they would just sit in the chat, collect their points, chat up, and it was a good thing.
I think drops would help the streaming side of things drastically. I really, really do. Not even saying that the streaming side of things needs to be touched upon, because I think as Lord's been really successful doing helps and interacting with the community, taking questions and doing builds and stuff. But there's they need to adjust just a little tweak, because if you add in currency into everything, we can farm something selected content, it's going to add so much more engagement. People are going to want to feel like their time isn't being wasted. That's just my big thing. It's hard to retain players after that pinnacle energy is spent. They just get off. I mean, that's what I've been doing the last couple of days. I'll already spend my pinnacle energy, do a couple strikes. I'm trying to queue for shifting gates. I truly I have so many paper receipts of me just finding bots, me just sitting there for, my average queue time is 25 minutes. And people said that, the higher rating you get, the longer your queue times are, because it's reducing the amount of bots potential in your game. That's awful. That's just a bad system.
Yeah. You still get bots. Yeah, you get bots at the highest ranks too. I'm I don't even know, one away from the top rank in shifting gates, but yeah, you get bots regardless.
Yeah, I'm
Which, I said, is fine, because I don't want to sit there and wait 20 minutes for a thing. But in the end,
we already are.
We already touched on all that.
Yeah, we already are waiting all that time. So
I said, I play shifting gates. Not to go over what we already said, but the only reason I play shifting gates is to go in and get my credits and get out of there so I can buy the shit in the store. That's it.
If they had good rewards behind it, wouldn't you feel more obligated to want to do it?
Yeah, of course. If there was good stuff in there, they put those clusters in there, I'd be in there all the time. I like shifting gates.
Yeah,
I don't hate shifting gates. I like playing it, but
no, the shifting.
I don't go and just play it to play it. I go to get my things. That's the main reason I play it. I enjoy playing it, but playing against the bots is kind of it doesn't matter to me. I'll slay the bots all day long, because I said, in the end, I just want to get the match over with as quick as possible so I can get my credits.
Right.
But they put the clusters in there at a 2% drop rate that I can get from basic rewards, and I'll be in there all day long, because that's the point where I am in this game. Is my pinnacle energy basically goes to legendary campaign. I've been spending all my pinnacle energy in legendary campaign for the past 2 weeks, because I'm upgrading exotic weapons.
Yep, that's all I'm doing.
So I get on and I run it 3 times. I double pull the chest and I'm done. I'm in 15 minutes. I'm done with my
Yeah,
pinnacle energy.
then I have
gone.
nothing to do for the
Gone.
day. I have zero to do for the rest of the day in the game. So I'm like, well, I worked out before this. Now what do I do? Like, I work out longer than it takes me to spend my energy, bro. Like, I work out every day. I
Right.
take 2 days off a week, and my day
Which-
off, I run. So it's like, for me, I'm working out longer than it takes me to spend my energy. Like, I could literally spend 20 minutes, not even. You spend all my energy.
Yeah, I mean, you
can
can
acquire anything.
I
and
could
then,
sit on the toilet when I'm taking my
Yeah.
morning poop and
yeah,
get my
bro.
gameplay in for the day.
Yeah, and then there's no incentive for you to continue. There's zero because you can't. I mean, like,
which is good. It's good for those times, like I said before, because it's just like, all right, well, now I can go do whatever I want for the rest of the day and go cut the grass, do chores, whatever. But then there's those days when you're like, but I want to keep playing. But it ain't point. It's the point that I'm not gonna go do blitzes and strikes because I've got every mythic weapon in the game with every perk combination possible. So I don't need to do that. So like, what do? I need
I think-
clusters to finish because I'm on the tail end of all my characters that I'm leveling up. But I gotta wait 2 weeks at a time to get my 4 to 5 from Calamity Ops to do that. And if it's a character that doesn't have any, I gotta wait a month to get 8.
Yeah, I think Kevin in Lord's chat has brought up a valid point. Make it more similar to Warframe. I hate to say that, but like, wow, that's actually, I never thought about that personally. I literally love that. I truly love that idea because like Warframe is such a successful franchise, and they're on mobile. They're on mobile as well, but their franchise is very, very successful, and they have an amazing. I don't know if you guys have ever played Warframe, but it's like his point is so like that is a very solid point, honestly. If you guys have ever played Warframe, I don't know if you guys have.
No, Warframe's an amazing game. I have.
Yeah,
No,
and
I
like
love it. I played it.
this like the systems and everything they have, dude. It would if Rising could almost imitate. I hate to say imitate because like I'll be copyright and all the drama, but like. I mean, Bungie has stolen how much artwork and stuff, but like that's just besides the point.
Oh God.
Like,
Here we go.
Let's just steal something good.
Man, copying and imitation is the best form of flattery. Bungie took
Yeah.
that to the max, didn't they?
Yes, sir. But like, come on, give us that. Give us the base of Warframe, bro. I would be so, because Warframe respects your time. You can still farm up whatever you can do. Like, you could be on that game for hours, bro, and not lose out on like. You can farm everything in that game, everything, and it's considered a mobile game. It is on mobile. I don't know if you guys know, it's on mobile. So it's like, I don't know. I hate the like. I understand like why people touch on the mobile thing being like only on your phone for like an hour, 2 hours max, but like. I don't know. Like it's hard for me because I guess I'm not a real big mobile player. So when I was coming to this game, I was hoping for a more flushed experience, but I don't know. I think the Warframe comprehension or comparison was like that's probably the best thing that I've read about it. But it would take a lot of work. Like he had, as he mentioned, it would take a lot of work, but it would still like they would still make money. It would still like be they would still have a good community. So let us farm, bro.
I think
Just let us farm.
yeah, I think everyone would agree that just put every material that we need in this game in the game some way, some form that we can earn without pinnacle energy, and then just make it we get a better chance to get it when we use our pinnacle energy. And it's that I feel like it's that simple, man, and they would make a ton of people happy. What's it hurting, dude, to add the freaking photons in strikes and blitzes? Raise them up for legendary campaign to like 3%, okay, and then leave the 1.5% for like strike and blitz farming or whatever. Put the clusters in there too, but give us that. Just give it the option to get them without pinnacle energy. Who cares what the drop rate is, but at least it's there.
Right.
And I think a lot of people would be happy, and it would be that simple. But
Reels,
I also understand the fact that they got to keep people playing this game for like the long run, right? Because if you could earn everything in this game to max your characters, if you could max a character in a couple days or a week or even 2 weeks, people are going to get through those characters really quick, and then okay, now you got all the characters leveled up and you did it in 2 months. Then people are going to be like, well, now there's really nothing for me to do in the game. I've got all the characters max, and then they leave the game completely. So they got to have some kind of stuff in there that kind of drags you along just to keep people playing the game. But they just got to find the balance of keeping people and losing people, and that's going to be the tough part for them, I think.
So, Reels, I have a question for you.
Yes, I may have an answer.
I bet you do. So, with you being a person who left Rising, right? You're back into your D2 grind, which awesome.
Technically, I didn't leave D-Rising, but
I mean, you know what I mean. Like you're not, on the back chokehold for a second. Would the energy or the drop change for a player like you who is a Destiny 2 vet, and same thing with you, Laura, touching on this as well, would that entice you to want to play more, or would that
repeat
kind of
the last bit?
You're feeling?
Repeat the last bit.
So the energy and stuff, right? So if they changed it to where, as we were saying, like it would allow you to farm, clusters or whatever and other activities, would that entice you to want to play more?
Okay, Real, go ahead.
I think, yes. If there was more clustering activities in Destiny Rising, it would definitely bring me over to the game to be able to play more events. I think the only thing that makes me kind of drive away from Destiny Rising is the fact of having to, like, I don't even have tier 6 characters. I'm competing with people who put a lot of money in the game to have all these characters and level up their weapons and guns that provide, more of an advantage than I can in the game, which sucks. Coming from Destiny 2 over to Destiny Rising, I think that's the one thing that kind of drives me away from the game, but also wants me to get back into it, because it's the grind that counts. But as long as there's more rewards and there's a higher chance of getting a mythic character and then spending money, by all means, yes, I'm totally in. I want to play. I want to be in, everything. But it's just the feeling of having to spend money and more money just to be as high as Lord Brandon. Compete, or even one of his friends that he plays with, Fat Loser.
Oh, that guy. Guy.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah. It's just like that's kind of what drives me away, and it's just the feeling of having to spend that money. But if there was more activities and more pinnacle loot that with higher drop rates, or even add like Luminous Leaves into those activities, by all means, yes. I was going
to actually touch on that.
I would come back even more than I am right now.
Yeah, because I feel like maybe adding, like when you spend your energy, I guess I don't know if I do. So I would, in my opinion, say 1 for 1. Say I spent 120 pinnacle energy, you should give me 120 Lumen Leaves. Because I say that, that doesn't even equate to 1 pull per day, right? And so the banners are only there for 30 days. So that doesn't guarantee you a drop chance, not even 1 pull. I mean, I guess if you hit pity, or I guess I'm talking about hitting pity. But I think that like if they added Lumen Leaves to activities while you spend your energy, do a 1 for 1 maybe 60, like 0.5 or 50%, sorry. Just giving us more leaves to be able to farm in the game and just put it to their pinnacle energy. I think people would be happy with pinnacle energy, like, oh yeah, it's my my 360 pinnacle energy that I saved up for 3 days, and then I get 360 Lumen Leaves. So that's a draw. That's a draw. That makes you feel good, right? That's some dopamine. Like you get to do a Gamba draw, and then let's just say you're one tier away from T6ing your first character. It's gonna kind of incentivize you to want to spend, a couple bucks to get, some pulls, right? I guess.
So what I'll say to that, before we move into the closing stuff, because I'll say most of what keeps me on and what will make me go. I agree with what you said. I don't think you're alienated, Tiva. I actually agree with you. I do think that, and I've said this for the longest, actually. I said that there needs to be the clusters for one starting off need to be in other activities without Pinnacle. The little boons, I forgot they're called, the little arc void solar boons, those need to be in legacy. You can keep those legacy specific, but we need to have a lower drop or a non-Pinnacle drop for those as well. And I've said the solar fruits and all the other fruits, all of those need to be in the chaos version. It doesn't make sense how I can go into a chaos run, spend my Pinnacle, and get one of the fruit or two of the fruits, but not get a bundle for spending the Pinnacle. But then when I do a non-Pinnacle farm of chaos, if I'm just going for the exotic artifacts, all I get is the artifactual dust. And even if they don't tie the essence, like even if they don't tie, like I don't care so much about the essence, because you can still hit 70 plus power, which is what I've done multiple times over again with mythic artifacts. Even if they don't tie the essence, which is for the exotic artifacts without non-Pinnacle, the ability to get the fruits, I think is a big one for me there. I don't mind leaving the Pinnacle energy, you know, for the essence. I mean, if they put it in, great, but if they don't, whatever. It takes forever now to even level up an exotic artifact. But that's my take on that. So I don't know if it would, I mean, it would entice me to farm more, because like I'm to the point now where I'm just farming stripes for dupes. Like that's literally where I'm at. I have all my characters up, and I pick one character, you know, because I have this mission I'm on to get to 70k on the main units that I play. I'm not going to get everyone to 70k, the main ones that I play to 70k. And I'm to the point now where everyone, all of them are up, and I'm just waiting for the essences and all the other craps. So I can't even progress because I'm literally locked out daily. So that's where I'm at.
How has your streaming experience been since Eclipse went away?
It's been great. I was actually happy it went away. There was a I didn't talk about it a lot because I didn't want to. My goal wasn't to make people feel bad or to give people a second doubt about me, but it actually took a huge mental toll on me. I stream every night. I stream till 4 or 5 every night. But with Eclipse, I would start stream at, like, let's say 9 o'clock. I wouldn't be done until maybe 12 the next day. And I would get up, go to work, maybe 1 or 2 hours sleep, rinse, repeat, do the whole process. And I was doing that because I was dedicated to the community. And my goal generally, as everyone knew, was just to get everyone through Eclipse. And I stood by that. I didn't even make leaderboards because that was my only goal. And so streaming wise, I'm glad it's done. I'm not rushing to get back into it. So they could take their time on the raid. Because those are like once a blue moon type of grind that I would be willing to put myself through. I'll touch more on that in the closing stuff, but yeah, does that answer the question?
Yeah, I was just curious because, like, I watched you do, I mean, as I said, like 200 plus runs, 300 if you count regular.
Yeah.
You know, so that does, like, I was watching you do that every single night. I would wake up and be going to the gym. I'd be going to sleep watching you do it, waking up, going to the gym, and you were still doing it. I was like, how? Like, I couldn't comprehend how you had that mental fortitude to not crash out.
It hurt.
I don't know how you. I would have crashed out 18 times. Like,
Yeah.
no way. No
You know,
way.
I do give a lot of credit to it, you know, for Destiny 2. I don't think if it wasn't for Destiny 1 and Destiny 2, I wouldn't have had I wouldn't have had that mental strength that I did in terms of grinding. Because see, with Destiny 2, I mean, even if we look at things like Salvation's Edge or Desert Perpetual, really, you know a lot about that, you know, where like you sit in there for all those hours, not even to beat one encounter, and like you leave disappointed. I will say in Destiny Rising, I didn't leave disappointed. I felt I was tired and I was drained, but I left with some dignity, like, man, look how many people we helped today, and look how many people we just made loyal to the brand or to the community or just overall. And I felt that's what I left with. And I wish I would have went for leaderboards, but I don't regret not going for leaderboards, because we got an army out of it. But yeah, it was. I was waking up. There was days I was waking up late for work, because I would end stream an hour before work. I'd get 30 minutes of sleep or whatever, and was an hour late for work, and rinse repeat the whole thing. I was running on 3 to 5 hour energies with 3 cups of coffee, and like, I mean, I'm not joking. That was live for those 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know, because I would be starting my stream, and then you'd be in my stream not even 2-3 hours after yours. Like, I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like, you're not sleeping, man. Like, yeah, I was just curious, not to like pull into the whole thing. I was just generally curious about how your experience has been, and
Yeah, it was nice. Like I said, I'm happy it's over. We still do good without it, but
yeah.
I'm not looking forward to the next raid. But it's gonna happen soon, and we'll
do
it all over.
Date on that?
We don't, but I'm thinking that I've got some birdies saying something in season 2. I can't say too much, but some birdies are saying something's happening season 2. I don't know what, but
I mean, I would obviously that's not like, I wouldn't say that that's like a far cry. Of course, they're gonna add in a raid for season 2. Like, that's but like this, like the season 0.25 that they charged it, or season 1.5 or whatever you want to call it, making us pay for a battle pass again, bro. Come on with that. That's funny.
But they're making you pay every act, which is
acts.
crazy.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I was like, bro, that's like, I feel like I'm playing Marvel Rivals right now. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, that concludes all of my questions. What I want to do now is I want you guys to take all the time you need for this. Let's go over our final closing thoughts. Say exactly what you want to say, your thoughts, the game, just everything about Destiny Rising, where you want to see it go. Do you think it will go, or anything overall? Take as much time as you want. Real, start us off. Tifa, go next. Monkey out, and then I will end us off as the last person. Go ahead, Real. Final closing thoughts.
I think the state of the game I think it has a chance. I really do. I think the game has a chance to survive. And as long as they continuously listen to the community and introduce storyline, or not introduce storylines, but introduce a timeline of what's to expect next. So therefore we as players can have expectations and be like, okay, well, we have this to look forward to, because right now, once you get all the gear and everything leveled up, you don't have you're on the blind side. You have no idea when a character is going to get released. You have no idea when there's going to be new content. You have no idea when, if they will add different modes into the adventure tab, or different things to play. But I have faith that, the game will survive, and as long as they continuously do improvements, and maybe in the future introduce like a PC simulator or a PC port. Not emulator, but PC port for us to play on would be good in a way. But I do have faith that the game is going to continue and rise, and bring in more of a player base as time goes on.
Tifa, next up, final closing thoughts. Everything. Take as much time as you need. Final closing thoughts. Let me hear it.
I think I agree with Real there. Just like a PC port would go a long way, because I think what a lot of people have, kind of shy away from the game, because it's an emulator. You have to download something, and you can say the same thing with well, that's Steam, that's Epic, but that's for your PC, and so I think a PC port would go a long way for some players being like, oh, I don't want to play a mobile game. I have personal friends of mine who have played games with for years who completely will not touch Rising because it's on an emulator. They're like, I don't want to play a mobile game. I just don't. But having something that pulls into the same pool like other games have, I think that would definitely go a long way. And adjusting some rewards, please adjust rewards. Do a PvP event, maybe something like Trials, and have that be your competitive thing. I'm just using Trials as an example. I don't really necessarily think Trials is a great event. That's just my own opinion of somebody who's played Trials for way too long, too many hours. But just, adjust some rewards, give, PvP players something to want to play the game for, because that's my niche thought process on it. I'm a PvP player. I don't really feel like I'm incentivized to PvP because power, none of that really means anything in PvP. It's just your talent points for shifting gates. Iron bar, none of your talents matter. So add some rewards, maybe cosmetics, take away leaderboards and shifting gates, something, just adjust a little bit for the PvP players to feel like they aren't alienated away. We haven't had a zero change to PvP. Not one thing. The bows feel terrible. Just adjust a little bit for us, and I think that the game could succeed. It will retain, PvE and PvP players, but I think a lot of the PvP players have left due to the things that I've talked about earlier in the first segment. But
And also, I'll add on top of that. I think honestly they should make it's called Iron Gate, right?
Mhm.
Or is that okay?
Iron Bar.
I think they should
Iron
Iron
Bar.
Bar. Thank
Yeah.
you. I think they should make that game mode available all week.
That's what-
I mean,
thank you.
it sucks
Thank you.
because I can't play it, because usually I play Destiny 2, and sometimes when I can't get on mobile or when I can't play Destiny Rising, I miss the event. And I've always wanted to play PvP. I get you got shifting gates. Shifting gates is the only PvP thing I experience right now in Destiny Rising. But I honestly think, if they were going to make it weekend based, they should at least introduce like exotics. And like, I get how they have mythics, but it's only available during the weekend. At least introduce a better reward system for us players to play during the weekend. Because if you're going to have it time gated throughout the whole entire week, when most of us can be available to play, towards the evening when we get off work, I think they should make that change, because it just sucks when I want to be able to play at least once, and half the time I'm always missing it because I played Destiny 2 Trials of Osiris a lot, and then when I want to log on and play on the mobile, it's just I never get a chance to.
Yeah, and as I said, like Iron Bar, you do not run into bots. It feels more, the PvP feels better. I truly do think, as I said earlier, move shifting gates to the weekends, have that be your weekly event, have it, incentivize better rewards, because you already get the weekly reward. You get one free draw for the week, not daily, which destroys my mental thought on that process. To make shifting gates have a, the limited draw thing, how you get your materials and stuff from it, have that be every single day. Or if not, just move it to the weekend and put Iron Bar weekly, because Iron Bar is a better experience overall. You're not fighting bots. It feels more fluent. We only have 2 maps, and I've thoroughly enjoyed that experience as a PvP player 1,000 times, like 1,000-fold over shifting gates. Not saying that shifting gates is bad, but I really wasn't a fan of Gambit. Is Gambit? Yeah, Gambit. I was not a fan of that game mode, so I really do think Iron Bar needs to be weekly, because it already doesn't have that good of reward. So why don't you just put shifting gates on the weekend to incentivize people queuing that for rewards? That's just my only thought process. I feel like they've kind of limited options for PvP.
Something about your rewards thing on Iron. Did you not play the beta or alpha?
Nope.
Okay, so here's the thing about the rewards with Iron Bar. So they used to have exotics in there, and they took them out. And the reason they probably took them out is because it made the PvP experience absolutely terrible. Because what was going on is people were 6-stacking, and you would go in and get absolutely slaughtered. So what happened was Friday would come, people would go in and play Iron Bar. And after about half an hour of getting queued up against the 6 stacks over and over again, they'd stop playing because it wasn't fun. You couldn't just queue in by yourself, go in there and have fun, because you were going to face a 6-stack team that was in there literally using the best characters possible. In the alpha, it was Maru. In the beta, it was, I forget who they were using in the beta. But they would have a 6-stack team of that character, and you literally stood no chance. You would absolutely get slaughtered. So what would happen was, by time, if it started at 12 p.m. on Friday, by 3 o'clock on Friday, there was nobody playing it, and it would go like that the whole weekend. The whole weekend would be dry because you could get exotics from winning games in there.
You could make teams queuing above 2 or 3 people into a different queuing pool. If the queues had more people, that's an easy solution. If you're queuing in a 3-stack,
Right, if the queues had more people.
Yeah, so it's like the whole 6-stack thing, like sure, I guess, but like if there's more people queuing into your activity, you wouldn't run into them constantly. And
Well,
if you're
what basically happened again, it goes back to the fact that this is a mobile game. It's supposed to be kind of, for the most part, casual, and the people were basically making it a sweat fest, and no one
limit how
liked
many
it.
people
Everyone
you can have in your
complained
party.
about it.
You can literally limit, like, you know, like limit how many people you can queue with. Don't allow 6 stacks. Boom.
Yeah, but and then the people aren't going to be happy about that. You know, it's one of those things where it's like you can't please everybody, kind of thing. People
Yeah,
are
how
always
many-
going to complain
but how
about
many
something. Like,
6 stacks are you
well, now I
currently
can't play with all 5 of my friends. I can only play with my one buddy, and it's just it'll be
Yeah,
a
like how many 6 stacks are you currently? I don't know how much Iron Bar you do. I have probably 600 or 700 matches in Iron Bar. How many 6 stacks are you running into? I haven't experienced one 6 stack.
Oh, I don't know. I don't really play Iron Bar. I played it in the first couple weekends, but I personally don't think it's that great. I mean, I have no trouble. I can go in there and be the top slayer. I just don't find it exciting in this game, honestly. It's really meta based. You go in there with one or two different character, and you just pretty much slay people. But
Any last things, Tiva?
Nah, I'm good. Completely good.
All right. Well, Monkey, go ahead. Give us your final closing thoughts. Take as much time as you need. Let me hear it all.
I forgot what even the question was. Just what I feel about the game, or
Yeah, overall.
what?
Just like, what do you want to see? Final thoughts,
I mean,
everything like that.
Personally, like I said, as someone who played the alpha, played the beta, probably in the top 5% or even 3% of probably hours spent in alpha and beta out of everyone that played, and probably even in the release right now. Like, I have a lot of time in the game. I think it's a good game as long as people remember that this is a mobile game at heart. It is not a game. It is not Destiny 2. It is not meant for you to be able to come over here and grind it. It's just not what it is. Would I like it to be like that? Sure. And it kind of is when you first get started in the game, because you can go and grind mythic parameters to get the god rolls of all the mythic weapons for a while, but then you hit that point where you're done with that, and then you get to the point now, like we've already said before, I'm waiting every 2 weeks for Calamity Ops to settle to get my clusters. You know, I've already got a maxed out Gwen. Her weapon mastery is done. I'm waiting. My Ning is done. And now I'm just waiting for this one to finish so that my Estella can have her weapon mastery done. So they just need to do something, like we've said already in the cast here, that they just need to balance it out and put stuff, everything should be earnable in the game. Just make them low drop rates. Like, I shouldn't have to wait 2 weeks to get what I need, because eventually people that keep playing this game for a month or so are going to get to this same point, and it's going to make people quit. And I don't want people to quit the game. I want people to play the game because I want the game to go on. But they just need to find a balance of satisfying people that are willing to pay and people that aren't willing to pay. And if they can do that, I think the game will go on. But I feel like if they don't make any adjustments and they don't start doing it quick, they're going to see a lot of the player base fall off. And we're already seeing it with the queue times. You know, like I said, you queue at Blitz at 3 a.m, you're going to get yourself and 2 other people join you, and the other 3 on your team are bots. And like, that's just how it goes. The queue time, and no one wants to sit around and wait. Also, I think NetEase, they need to be more vocal, dude. Like, they don't tell us nothing. The only thing we hear from them is Thursday mornings before the server maintenance goes down of what's coming up. That's all we ever hear really about them. Or a few days before the next banner's going to release, we get some information on that. They need to be more vocal. They need to keep the community in the know. Like I said, we should know the next Calamity happens in a week. Well, we should already have been informed what it's going to be, what the elements are, and what the Shinka types are going to be. We should know. They should tell us what the next expanse is going to be so that people can prepare, because it sucks for people. Like last week they had Gwen and they had Estella. So they were able to do both sides of the expanse to 30 and complete some of the time checks to get the bonus chest. But then this week comes up and they get slapped in the face because, well, we didn't know it was going to be arc and solar, and we didn't know that it was going to be rapid fire and piercing. So like they need to give the community a heads up of what's coming up so that people can prepare their characters, so like they can start farming. Like, oh, piercing's coming up. I don't have a piercing character. My tan is only 65k. I know I need to get him above 70 so that I can possibly break those time trials. I got a week before it gets here, plus it's here for 2 weeks, so I can start farming out his mats to try to raise him up to 71, 72k now, versus getting slapped in the face when it comes live and then they go, oh, damn. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to farm up enough mats to raise his power up high enough now to get it there. So I guess that's kind of where I sit on the game. It's just, I think it should. My biggest take is that from complaints of people, especially D2 people, like, you know, I came from D2. I've been playing Destiny since the Destiny 1 beta, thousands upon thousands of hours in the game. Grinded everything in both games, have everything you could possibly get from the games. You know, I'm a grinder, but I also realized this game wasn't designed for me, right? It's not designed to suit me. It's designed for those people who play mobile games, who are in that mindset of get on for an hour, spend your pinnacle energy, get off and come back tomorrow. But when you target the Destiny 2 community who is full of grinders, you have to do something in your game to appeal to those people if you want to keep them. Because they're going to come over here and they realize that as soon as they're out of their pinnacle energy, there isn't much for them to do. So you better fix it, or don't expect to keep them around, especially with the way you're pricing your silver and what it costs to just unlock a character. That's another thing. They need to adjust their pricing. So, I mean, they do a couple little things. I think they'll do all right. If they don't do anything from this day forward and everything just rolls how it's been rolling, the game's not going to last. The only people that'll keep it alive is the whales, and the whales will probably be gone soon too, because they'll have all the characters. I mean, we don't even know if there's going to be more characters coming out, because who knows when the next new ones come, right? We get the Gunslinger and we get Maru. And then what's next? Well, the banners are probably going to start rotating back through for a while. Gwen's going to come back. Then Estella's going to come back. So how long does that go out until we get an actual new character? So even the whales are going to be like, I ain't got nothing to do. We're back to Gwen. And Estella's going to come after her. Then it's going to be Hellhest again. Then it'll be the Gunslinger. Shoot, that's 2 months of, I don't need that because I already got all those characters and I got them max because I bought them as soon as they came out. So, you know, what keeps those people around? But that's probably, I mean, I could go on and on and on, but for the most part, that's basically it, I would say.
All right, well, time for my final closing arguments. First off, I want to thank everyone for being here. I want to thank Real, Monkey, and Tiva for being here, and all talking and participating in this. I greatly appreciate you guys. My final closing thoughts. I don't know. I don't know where Destiny Rising sits right now. You asked me 2 months ago, I would have said this game was the Destiny 2 killer, but right now, I can't say that, which is half the reason why I haven't released my video on why I quit Destiny 2 for Destiny Rising. Like I said, I'm to the point with my characters where after I get my Umiko to 70k, which I didn't have to get her to 70k, I already had 10, I just did it for the void aspect. Once I get my Ning up, I will have one of each of the characters that's required for these activities, all at the 70k unit, or at the 70k requirement for master and up. And so after that, I really want to see some roadmaps. I want to see where the game goes, because I don't know what there is left for me to do, because I kind of see it as pointless now. I don't think people want to watch me do strikes for 6 to 8 hours a day to try to get dupes on weapons. And quite frankly, I don't even know if I want to run it with those odds. And so I'm to the point to where once I get Ning up 70 plus, and it's part of coming to the real, for me at least, coming to the understanding that, as everyone has said here, that this is a mobile game, and this wasn't built for your typical Destiny 2 player who does every contest, who spends 20 hours on every contest or whatever. Just, it wasn't built for that, and that's me coming to the understanding of that. And so I have some agendas. I know I have 2 more exotics to complete the full exotic reviews on the channel. I'm gonna get those out. I'll probably end up getting a build out on some of the main units that people play, and like I said, get my Ning up, and get that done. And other than that, I don't have much on the agenda in terms of Destiny Rising, and so I don't know. I mean, we've already discussed all the great points. I mean, they know what they need to do. And in the meantime, once I get these objectives done, I'll be back on D2. D2's made some strides, I can see. They've introduced the 300 power kit for players. And so I might go back and do my first epic Desert Perpetual, because I still haven't done that, or I haven't done my exotic mission. Or I might go to Warframe, try that out for a bit with Tiva, or do it Night Abyss, or whatever the whatever sways my mind. But it's looking like D2 might be making a return, if Destiny Rising doesn't get this boat sailing here pretty fast. So
Warframe had an update today.
yeah, like, see, it's things like that, like where I want to do that. Like, I want to do Warframe. Like, I never had the players like to play Warframe. I never understood it as well as I did Destiny things. And like, I wanna really sink my teeth into something and really just grind. And I think Warframe's got a lot of it. And I just have been kind of, I don't want to say scared, but like, just, it feels like overwhelming and not knowing what to do. And I come from 11 years, and as most of you, so many years in Destiny, where you've spent the time and you know what to do. It's all second hand to all of us. And when it comes to Warframe, I don't have nowhere near that time on Warframe, and so it's not second hand to me. And so it's kind of relearning mechanics and relearning this part of an MMO or whatever. And so
We can be baby Tenos together, Lord. It's okay.
yeah, we'll do it together. So that's kind of where I'm at. So we'll see. But that's going to be the move. Like I said, I want nothing but for the best for Destiny Rising, but like we've come to the understanding it's built for mobile players at the end of the day, and it's not gonna support what we used to do in Destiny. And I think that's kind of the realization I've come to. I don't, so with that, that concludes everything here from our very first Lord's Cast. I'm going to make sure to have you guys as the collaborators on the video. I want to thank all of you for being here. I appreciate your time and just being here. I really appreciate all of you guys.
Yeah, no, of course. And the one thing I do want to add,
It was enjoyable.
what comes to be important, even though, Destiny Rising is in the state it's in right now, is the community you built from it. Like the community that you have right now, you can probably have gotten that from Destiny 2. But you got it from Destiny Rising, and that's very important. So I'm proud of you. I'm happy.
Thank you. I agree. And like I said, I'm not turning my back on the Destiny Rising community. It's just I don't know where to go. The game, it's just not, Destiny 2. I mean, it's just not like, it's not like Destiny where I can do this or that, or it, like the content, like what I will say is the content in this game, the way it feels dry, it feels a different type of dry, like in Destiny 2. Like, I don't know, it's weird. And so it's weird.
Yeah.
I hate time gates, and I think that's what's irritating me the most right now is like
Right.
these materials and the clusters, and I want to level and get my guys tanky and leaderboards, and I feel like I can't do that because of these daily time gates. But like I said, the community we've built, like you said, it's been amazing. We have built literally an army, and I will say NetEase is the only company to allow me to be in the creator program, aka Bungie. I don't know what you guys were doing, but yeah.
Oh, quick question about that. How long did it take for you to get a response from them from that? Because they have never answered filled out that little form, and I've never got anything back from them.
I would say it's 3 days. I don't know. It's weird. I applied 3 times. The first 2 times I was declined, which I don't understand why, because the same numbers we're doing now is the same numbers I was doing when they approved me this last time. But when I applied this last
I
time,
didn't even get a decline thing. I've put in twice, and that's like 2.5 weeks. They're just not responding.
Honestly, for me, I forgot about it. I completely forgot that I even signed up for the creator program until just recently. They hit me up on Discord saying, hey, we want you to be a part of the creator program. And the only reason why I think they're doing that right now is because they're falling behind numbers. And the only
thing that makes me mad is that if you go and look on like their Discord and you see all the people that have the little tag or whatever for the content creators, 95% of them don't even play this game anymore. They played it for like the first few days, and they don't play this game. They don't make content for this game.
or some of them have 2 subscribers.
And here I am. I'm been trying to get in for the past 2.5 weeks. Put that stupid little form in like several times, and I can't even get a sorry, we're not accepting you. I can't get nothing. Like no response.
Yeah.
I mean, I've pulled like 30,000 views on this game alone on my YouTube videos in just the past week, and I can't even get a reply. And like I said, there's 90% of the people that are in the content creator program aren't even doing anything with this game.
It's true.
I don't know what's going on over there.
Well, thank you guys. I thank you guys so much. I'm gonna, when we upload this to YouTube, there's that collaborator thing where like it shows like everyone like who was in here. I'm gonna try it out, and I'm gonna put you guys all the way in there as much as I can. And so I appreciate you guys for being here and taking the time, and I really do. Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
No problem, man. Anytime you want to do another one, man, let me know.
Yes, sir.
So,
All right.
All right, fellas. I'll catch you all around, man. See you in game.
Yep.
All
have a
right.
good one.
You too. Tiva, go live. All right, guys. Take care.
See you,
Will do.
chat.
All right.
See you,
Goodbye,
Lord
guys.
chat.
Later.
Bye, Lord's chat.
Later.